All right. And I am live and you are live. So we are live. Flashpoint, Ebontis, what's going on, man?
Well, not much. It's been kind of a busy week. Haven't been able to play quite as much as I've wanted to, so try and get some grind in this weekend, of course. But Dawning's out there. We got some bacon going on. Got some different stuff to talk about this week because TWAB's a little bit shorter, so got a couple topics to talk about. How's your week been?
Been grinding, man. That below 600 grind is real. So I just been doing everything I can to just kind of get myself in position before the new content. But shout out to Scream, man. Want to shout out Web Scream, man. He's really in Kaibatu, really been helping out. Shout out to the dude, man. He actually started his character on PC from Short Ports Gaming. Got a chance to play with him a little bit, so that was fun. Waiting on a few other defectors; they haven't come yet. So we're trying to get the PC community live and popping. And to the Spawn Point clan, I will definitely be a little bit more ingratiated once I hit 600. I just choose to get myself right before I throw myself in crazy activities.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's real. The grind's real. But trust me, I tried malfeasance and it was just like at 580, it was pretty brutal. So I ain't ready yet.
Yeah, that one's definitely, and just the end of that strike, especially kind of small areas, heavier, like hard hitting enemies and stuff. If you're not quite there, it's a bit dicey. Like I kind of ran one of my friends through that, even around 600. It's like it hurts. So yeah, it's definitely not a cakewalk.
Oh yeah! Salute the Scream, man. Oh, salute the King in the chat. What's
Good
going
morning.
on, man? Good morning, King. Yeah, man. Nah, salute the Scream. He was a trooper though. He was trying to get me through. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But yeah, man. Don't worry, King. I coming for you. All that fraud talk in the chat. I see you, bro. It's PC still popping over here, but we gonna get you. We gonna get you.
PC's the way to go, man.
We gonna work on that defection.
We'll get you there.
No doubt. But what's going on, man? What we got?
So today we're going to talk about the Dawning, kind of its launch, how it's been. We've got a discussion just about the TWAB, kind of a couple upcoming changes, some good, kind of some things out in the community, the raid launch, just kind of our thoughts and how just that progression's been going. And then just finally going to wrap up with some things that we are really enjoying about Destiny, just because of its current state, and some things that we really, really want to see change. So a little bit of both, but that's kind of the rundown of the show, so you guys kind of have an idea what's coming. But we'll start with the Dawning. I mean, when you stepped in this week on Tuesday, how's it been going for you?
Yeah, man, I just messed around a little bit. At first, to be real with you, like I avoided it for like 2 days. Like I was just like, sound corny. I don't know if I'm doing that. Like I was literally just focusing on engrams and the power chase. But
Yeah.
I think it was Kai. He was like, "You didn't do anything yet," and I'm like, "Nah, let me mess with it." Yo, low key, I'm enjoying it. Like it's goofy, but it's funny. Like first of all, I'm gonna say something real quick. I actually really like this event. Like I really broke down. Like, yeah, yep, easy bake oven. Literally, that's what it is, King. Like you get the little things, and the names are hilarious, and the ingredients are hilarious. Like, oh man, you run around Vex milk and Cabal oil and Goller doodles and all this other easy bake oven stuff. But it's actually fun. It's rewarding. I got the what is it? The machine gun. You know that.
Yeah, the Avalanche.
Yeah, roll is trash, but I didn't care about anything because I got the ship. I was gonna literally spend Bright Dust to get the ship because I love the way that ship looks, man.
Which one was it? The Glad Tidings one?
I think it's the Glad Times one.
It looks like a jet fighter, basically.
Woo! Oh man, yeah, it reminds me of my childhood. I'm gonna reveal my age now, but there's a old cartoon back in the day called Battle of the Planets. King knows what I'm talking about. He's in here. All the OGs know what I'm talking about. And that was one of my favorite shows. The Japanese anime is called Gatchaman, and that was the ship. The style was that kind of jet fighter. So I had to get the blue and red shader to match the cartoon. I had to have that ship. So luckily, like on my second recipe or whatever, I was able to get it. So I've been having fun with it, man. Just doing the things, and they've been giving out in enhancement cores. So I'm like, all right, it gives me incentive to do it. What about you?
Yeah, same thing. Kind of stepped in. The ingredients have been plentiful when you're going through. I was grinding a couple nightfalls with some buddies, and you're getting like what is it, like 30 and 30 of those like essence or whatever from per nightfall. So I mean, honestly, like if you got a good group and you can speed run some nightfalls, that one's pretty efficient. If you can farm some of the not the lost sectors, the public events, if you can find that quick rotation, it's like, hey, this one's up, this one's up, this one's up, and you can knock public events pretty quick on like EDZ, especially is a good planet for that because it's the flashpoint. Those are pretty good. But I mean, yeah, as you said, the names are hilarious. You got the Burt Edge Transit accident. You still got to take those over. But I mean, you're getting some chance at some drops. The bounties are actually there. The powerful gear is actually a thing to do. So I mean, they actually give you a reason. It's not just like solely cosmetics. Like if you do put some time in on this other grind and you've like done some other things, you get some powerful gear. You get a chance to get some more rolls of the avalanche, which I know some people were going for. I got a decent one. It's got trying to remember. I know it's got feeding frenzy, which is not a bad thing for machine guns, and I'm trying to look and see if it's on them right now and not classified, because I got to look and see if I can actually click on it and see what I got for a roll. Where did it go?
What you got?
Well, I got one with dynamic sway reduction and rampage, which is pretty solid.
That's nice.
That's really nice. That one's pretty good. And then I got another one with and then on the other side, I get one with slideways and hip fire grip. I'm like, well, those two couldn't be farther apart for usefulness. So, like, there's definitely some random rolls going on, but it's just nice to see that this is a drop. You can get some options with it. Oh, I got feeding frenzy and rampage. That was the one I really wanted. So it's got ricochet rounds on it and a medium zoom scope and a reload speed. So it's like, it's a pretty solid roll. So, I mean, just gives me some options. They said they are going to buff the, we'll get to it later, but they're actually going to buff the stability a little bit on that gun.
Yeah, it's a little...
It's a little bit all over the place, but yeah, it's just nice to have a specific weapon for it. It's not crazy overpowered, but I mean, machine guns feel broken anyway, so I mean, it still hits pretty hard.
Facts.
But yeah, like one thing I gotta get, man, is like is that sleigh. That Sparrow is just crazy.
Bro, that's like the essence. That's like the essence of Santa. Like you are Santa with that joint. Like it look pimp. Like you got a real, little chariot, the sleigh. All you need is the reindeer in front of it. Like I'm starting to low key love the Dawning. Like I've always liked the aesthetic of the suits of the Dawning. I've always felt like last year's Dawning suit was really cool, and I like this year's design. I like the color scheme, everything about the design of the event. And you got the little stupid snowballs, you use that in the field and stuff like that. Or like the funny thing is, you ever go to the vault and then you just hear poof.
Oh yeah, yep. I was standing there recording the weekly reset, kind of up in my usual spot, like and I just hear this poof, and I'm like, really?
I'm like, really, my man? I'm at the ATM. You really gonna hit me? But you gotta laugh because it's so funny. Like, I like the Dawning. Dawning is low key my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like Destiny free event. Because I'm trying to think what we got. Dawning.
You got Festival. Crimson Days. You got Festival.
Yeah.
They're gonna do a new one over the spring. You got Solstice appears. They're bringing back. That was new. Yeah, what they did in Solstice was good. I did enjoy that this time around. So because that was kind of a new thing. The missions that they redid were cool because I really enjoyed kind of just the work, just even the reworked mechanics on that one with all the servitor, like the Russian nesting servitor doll. Like that one was hilarious when those little ones kept popping out and popping out and smiling. It just kind of changed the feel of it. And then just the reason you had the grind, there was a little extra level to get before you get that next thing. It's just been like, honestly, like the events have had a nice swing since like, especially since like, they made their flub in the beginning. Like the first festival, the cost was like, they dropped the ball big time, way too heavy on Eververse and stuff like that. And then now I gotta say, like, I like the way the armor looks. You guys can see that stuff on screen. But like Paul Tassie's article kind of said it really well, just with regards to the armor at this point really should not be in there. Like it should be in random drops, should be part of like all the stuff you're baking, just random rolls. Because I mean, if you're ever going to spend money on trying to get a full set that you actually want to use, if you don't just want to look pretty because we don't have transmog or anything like that.
Yeah, facts.
The random rolls, you're never, ever, you could spend $100 and still never get the rolls you want because your chance to get a piece of armor, one piece, much less the rolls you want, much less the right slot is like so like statistically tiny. You would spend so much money to ever get that. You're not going to random roll it. So it's like just the armor sitting in there. It's like, I'm lucky to even get a set, much less it's like, oh, okay, if I do get a full set, what are the odds from these like random engrams that I do get that I'm going to get the rolls that I actually want? So just the fact that the armor's sitting in there is like even more and more he's saying it's like it just proves like the armor shouldn't be in there. It looks awesome, but I'm never going to it should be dropping all the time. And maybe it is just low and you have to infuse something into it. But like give us more options for this stuff, because like sticking it just behind the engrams that you get by plan, that's like the one thing it just kind of takes away, because I'm never going to have a full set of that I really care about using.
I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. That's a good point. And because the armor is cool and you want other ways to get it as well as more randomization. And I noticed with the festivals armors in general, just regardless if it's the Dawning or not, you notice they're not rolling with resilience.
I haven't even paid attention. I haven't even paid attention to what they're rolling with. Like, but it does seem each set will have like, and sometimes like all mobility. I'm like, that's the last thing I want.
Yeah, like, it's always like mobility, and I'm like, fam, can I get some resilience? That's why I love when Iron Bandit comes around, because those are always resilience. But it's just like, we're gonna talk about. I'm not gonna spoil it, but we're gonna talk about when we get into likes and dislikes. When we get to that topic, some things and suggestions there. But overall, I do like the Dawning. It is my favorite event. Out of the many events, to me, it's had the most consistency. Besides that one time, it was like really expensive, but that's my personal favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun. I'm not like the way they handled the Infinite Forest actually having a full like new activity was cool and kind of set it above for me. My big one, I still miss the Sparrow Racing. So whatever that was attached to before, that's my big one I'm missing. So while this is fun and bacon and the activity, miss me some Sparrow Racing big time.
Get the tight suits out. But they was cool though. They was cool.
Oh yeah, those skin tight speedos.
Skin tight speedos, because it used to look so weird when you have like a regular armor top and this SRL pants.
You like got big bulky shoulders, and then I got like my Under Armour base layer, and that's all I'm wearing on my legs. It's like what's happening?
Like you got compression stuff on. It's bad funny.
yeah, it's really crazy. So, but yeah, I mean the Dawning has been going on. We've been digging in a little bit, making a few things. But as you guys know, Eva Levante returned. The oven is out there. You can master work your oven. Yes. Now, one piece of advice though. Make sure you guys find a way, whether looking up recipes or whatever, before you bake all the recipes and masterwork it. Make sure you bake the burnt edge transit. I forget what they're called. Yeah. You have to do that one wrong recipe. Yes. Otherwise, you can't get the triumph in the event. Yes. So, and if you masterwork it, you won't be able to do it. So keep that in mind. Definitely check some recipes out there. There's some pictures that show them all out there on the internet. If you guys are looking for a link, I'll see if I can find one while we're doing this, but make sure and hit that one, because you can't get the triumph without getting all 13.
Good point.
Which includes the wrong one. So just a piece in mind. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, Ava comes back. She has no shaders. She is not the cosmetics one at this point, which is kind of sad. But yeah, it's nice
back,
though.
Man. She's back.
It's nice to see. So yeah, it's like this. Everybody's like, the main tower is gone. We've shifted over to this other piece of the wall. We're finding the Black Armory in there. Ava's kind of wandering her way back from the city into the tower, doing her thing. We're kind of getting some pieces back here and there, so it's good. Yep. And then, but it's like, I mean, honestly, from this, I've been seeing stuff like enhancement cores and just some drops and things like that. So they're actually kind of getting some good use out of this event so far, at least in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
But yeah, just the fact, I mean, you can get cores, mods, you can get some gear drops, you can get the machine gun with random rolls, which is cool. It's nice to see that we get some options, but the baking stuff is kind of cool. I mean, you got, I forget, it's chocolate ship cookies, and it's always got play on words, and I think those go to Holiday, because she's, of course, the ship, ship lady. I forget what it is, but I mean, the things that drop, you got like, what is it, Cabal oil when you kill those guys.
Yeah.
So those are kind of themed, but then you get into like, the way you get personal touches, you got to get melee kills. You do like fire, and you get so I like kind of the theme to it. So it mixes up kind of. You're like, if you want to buy stuff too, and if you have a whole bunch of Sparrow or Bright Dust sitting around, you can pick up a bunch of that stuff in different ways. So they give you a way to, if you're missing something specific, not totally go grind. You're like, I have like 500 of this thing. I got a lot of essence. I just need to bake one more thing. Yeah, you can buy it. So I like how they gave you options to buy it if you put in the grind, but if you want to go look for it, there's ways to do it as well. So I like how they've given you options, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Options are always good. And I like the way they've been handling that whole bounty thing and just the event in general. I agree.
So And we got some nice pictures here if you guys are looking for fun. This is a nice picture of the Avalanche with full dawning armor. Have you used the Avalanche that much? I mean, what do you feel about the gun itself?
My roll is trash, so I didn't even bother touching it right now. And to be real with you, ain't nothing moving out. Since I got Thunderlord to drop as a rando, ain't nothing moving out that spot.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. You missed the quest, but you got it as that random drop. I was like, damn, that's lucky early on, because that thing is huge right now.
I needed that, man, because like I said, outside of you would get me that whisper, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest, like I was just like, damn, like I just, I don't have no sleeper, I don't have no power fantasy. And then I just forgot how good and how versatile Thunderlord is. So it's like I'm just soloing content, some content by myself, and I'm just like, wow, it's all because of Thunderlord. So it's like right now, my whole spec is Thunderlord, like machine gun reserves, machine gun scavenger, you know what I'm saying? Like everything is spec towards Thunderlord. It's just I gotta do that. Shout out to Cindy saying it's easy cores when you bake for the gunsmith. Oh, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to get in. I'm about to see what's up with that. But yeah, man. But so I haven't really got a chance to touch Avalanche. Shout out to Cactus. He's got a good video up on it. I think he says his vibe is that it's not as good as Hammerhead, but he's saying like, hey, if you don't got Hammerhead, like guys like me, you'll like it. But I think the problem with it right now is like the kick. You got to do something to control the kick a little bit. Have you shot it? Have you used it?
Which one?
The Avalanche, new one.
Yeah, I've used it. Like they are going to patch the stability, they said, coming up, and we'll talk about that. But I mean, with reasonable rolls, it still hits pretty hard because the clip is a little smaller. Okay. I think it's like 58 or 59, so it's sub 60, so it's a slightly different clip amount. So I think it does hit pretty hard for what it does. And just the fact that it's solar now, you've got Thunderlord, you've cover an arc, you've got Hammerhead with Void, and then you've got this thing with solar. So you do have some options now for each damage type, which is definitely a good thing. But shout out in chat, we got Insane Papa, we got Vagabond, Butt Fuel, of course, making me laugh every time.
Bro.
So thank you guys for joining the chat. Sin Rob, got you guys out there. Of course, Lord King and everybody out there in the Iron Lord podcast chat. So thank you guys for tuning in. Been a fun morning to get going here. But yeah, it's like dawning's been fun. Avalanche is cool. The baking's fun. There's some things out there if you guys are looking on if you can masterwork your oven and start baking some of those cookies. Definitely look into some things out there. There's some tips you guys can get a lot of enhancement cores just by grinding out those little packages, playing activities, and then using those to bake packages. Those enhancement cores, probably one of those things that you can get quickest right now, probably for the first time ever, honestly. So spend some time grinding, and that's actually going to pay off pretty well with those cores. I think that's going to be probably one of the biggest things. And then we got to talk about this Sparrow. This thing is crazy town. I love this thing.
Let's go. Yeah.
Like, seriously, like the sleigh, the holiday spirit is out there. You got glimmer packages coming out of the back. Just the fact that you actually grind for it as well, it's not part of Eververse, is honestly the nice cherry on top, too. You can earn it. Everybody can earn it if you put in that time. And you got 3 weeks to do it. It's not going to be that hard to get to. And just get yourself a Sparrow that's just going to be, nothing's going to look like this. It's just crazy.
Sid said he likes rolling up, dropping gifts. Yo, shout out to the design team. We always give them credit on Flashpoint, but we got to give them again, man. More kudos. Yo, E, let's be real. Since D2, the Sparrow's been lit. Like that, you got the Ghost Rider looking one. They even got the John Deere looking Sparrow. Like, oh my god, Sparrows are fire right now. Like,
they've had some really good designs. Like the boring ones are like, yeah, they're there, but man, these exotics have been really, really cool. Somebody's been having a lot of fun with these things.
Yeah, whoever's on that team or the Sparrow team, give that man a raise. He needs a little Christmas bonus going on right now, because this is just, like I said, that's the essence of the holiday. Like, they just nailed it. Like, look at that, man. The imagery is dope. You know what I'm saying? And then it looks pimp when you're on it. Gotta love it. Got the gift thing going on. And like you said, you can earn it, by just through gameplay. Everyone can get it. And it's not just an instant buy either. So that's a nice touch.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, that's it. That they're learning.
Yes.
Huge backlash, too much stuff in Eververse. They've been making these changes, giving us stuff to grind for, giving us random rolls on Avalanche. We had a horror story that was there to grind for. Got this awesome Sparrow that you can go for. The cookies giving us cores now. It's like they're listening. They're out there kind of paying attention, making things a little bit better. Baby steps in all the right directions. And these little feelings of these events make them more enjoyable, because if you have this like tarnished feeling or Festival of the Cost and these like all downtrodden things, and then you come in and now we're starting to get just positive feels like, hey, this is kind of fun, this stuff's kind of cool. Those are the feelings we need from these events, because it actually keeps it nice and positive.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to come with a couple bursts, bursts. We got Glimmer Boost, so while boosting, Sparrow spawns little Glimmer presents. You can run around and pick those up. The Glimmer Trick, when a player lands a trick on the Sparrow, 3 to 5 Glimmer presents are spawned, and this is again only during these 3 weeks, so the Glimmer won't always be there. It's always got the instant summon, which is the thing everybody wants. I think you should be able to reroll. I think every Sparrow should come with that. And then some perks like that just needs to happen. But
yeah, I agree.
Yep. So yeah, there's going to be some other triumphs and stuff that you guys can do. Look through those. But if you spend some time in there, the Sparrow itself is not that hard to get. You just got to spend some time. And it's 3 weeks. You got plenty of time. So
absolutely.
And then, of course, we got the double drops. The Eververse emotes are dropping. And this is a good thing, too. You get in your normal ones. You get in your doubles. And you get in these, like, shout out to...
There go my ship.
Yeah, this one, your little jet fighter. This one reminds me kind of the shape of the Solstice of Heroes ship, but with kind of a slightly different.
That's the Battle of the Planets right there. That's the Gotcha Mine. That's my ship. I got the red and blue on that. Woo, G-Force, let's go. That's my childhood, man. Love that design. Love it.
Yeah, and then the Snowball Ghost is cool. It's got the little sticks out his arms out there, so it's like a little baby snowman over there on the right. And then the new thing, these multiplayer emotes are honestly pretty cool. Like, it's nice that only one person has to have it. Like, I was wondering if, like, do both you have to have it? No, you can just, like, hold up and wait, and somebody can come interact with you. So it's nice that
I didn't know
that. You don't have to own it. Yeah, not both do, because, like, one of my buddies had it or whatever, and he's just holding a hand up there, and he's like, come on. You walk up, you hit E, you press and hold it, and does a little fill circle to interact. So then you high five them, but you never owned it. So it's actually cool that you can do it with just one of you having it.
Oh, that's dope. I didn't know that. See, and that's cool, because at the end of the day, it's not forcing the microtransaction. It's not forcing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, hey, we're gonna give something to give you to make you interact with the community. So yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. I'm actually gonna start, because I got the chest bump one. So I can just get in front of somebody like, yo, what's up, fam?
Yeah, you can wait. The sound effects when you preview them are just like, they're a little off and a little weird on the sound effects on a couple of those, but overall it's cool. We got the hockey throwdown. Come on, let's go. That one's cool. I got that.
I do that before the Gambit match. Before the Gambit match, when they look at me,
that's perfect.
Yep, it's like I'm literally in the hockey the bin. Like, yo, what's up?
Nope. It's like throw down the stick, gloves come off, time to fight. Let's go. That's how we do this. So. And then your exclusive, this one you do have to buy. This one is for the silvers, the actual cookies, but man, it's like you can actually see them pour out. You got the cookie bake and you see them actually melt out, and it's a good thing you're a guardian, because holding that hot cookie sheet would definitely burn your fingertips, but he's a lot to handle in the fire. So yeah, but honestly, like, if that's the one they put in there, it's like, hey, this one you gotta buy. It's like, yeah, there's always going to be some things you do have to buy, but honestly, they have enough cool stuff in there that if I miss out on this one, I don't pay for it. That's okay. Like, see, and that's the thing people have to understand. It's like, no, you can't earn everything. They are going to put some things in there, just like in many other games, to give you the option. Like, if you want it, cool. If you don't, no skin off your back. There's enough other stuff in there. You're not missing out.
Exactly. So. And it's cosmetic. It does not affect gameplay nor give competitive advantage. It is cosmetic. I don't have no problem with cosmetics in there behind microtransactions, as long as they're not ridiculously overpriced. But you know, other than that, I'm cool. I'm completely cool with this. There's no problem.
Yeah, it's like that 1,000 or 1,100 silver, so it's like that 10 or 11 buck range, something like that. So I mean, it's not cheap, but it comes with other stuff too. So I mean, you'll get a few extra engrams and things in there. So not bad, but you know, they gotta throw a little bit out there. They're trying to keep that live team supported, and this is just one of the ways they support it. And again, you always have that choice to support. If you think the annual pass is all you're going to put in, that is totally your choice. If you don't want to do that one, but you're like, hey, this emote's just awesome, and I'm going to just stick with the normal content and just have fun grinding up the level and not play Black Armory things, you know, spend your $10 here, support them that way, or nothing at all. That's, again, you guys always have the option. Remember, cosmetics don't mean a damn thing when you're playing the game. So
there you go. Appreciate it.
But yeah, if you got bright dust piling up, you can use that to buy specific pieces, kind of speed it along. So if you just have like, 20,000 bright dust from breaking down a tons of ships and shaders and things like that. Yep.
And
and
real quick, again, coming to PC, I didn't have any bright dust. And all I was doing is every day I just grabbed those test bounties. Just grab the test bounties of just doing basic things in the game, earning bright dust, able to get these cosmetic things. So within no time, between earning stuff, dismantling stuff that you get on drops, especially ships and stuff that you don't want, you'll be up there in bright dust in no time. So that is a fact. The system definitely is not trying to be manipulative.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean those are bounties that I don't pick up that often, but I definitely probably should, because I know I have so many notes that I need to start using, just stockpiling that stuff up, because it's nice if I have I've broken down enough, like a whole bunch of shaders. Some of those will give you some bright dust and little clumps, and if you have like 30 shaders, you're gonna start adding up. Ships and sparrows and ghosts and things are usually going to give you a decent chunk. So I mean, I've got like 20,000 bright dust. So if I do see that, like that one ship or that one emote, I'm not waiting on the prismatic matrix. I'm just going to be like, you know what, I'll just buy it and I'll, and just try and save up. So it's nice that they are giving us all those options. So, but yep, Dawning will be going until New Year's Day. It ends because that will actually be one of the resets. So on a calendar, reset will be that day. So we'll end at good old 9 a.m. Pacific on Tuesday, January 1st. So you got until the New Year. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we got going for the Dawning. Quick run through, but good morning, Yagami. Thanks for joining in. Played with him a little bit this week. He's helped me with a couple grinds, dragging some people through Nightfall. Shout out for the help out there. But we've got the TWAB this week to talk about for you guys. It's been a good one, of course. Looking good with the avalanche and the armor. I'll probably never have that armor set, which is a little annoying. But I mean, even if I did have the armor set, it'd probably have like auto rifle loader, like bow reserves, just like crap that I don't use, and I'm just like, nope, not gonna use it. So that's why, again, we need to get into some type of we'll get to that stuff a bit later.
We'll get to it.
Yep, Dawning is going on. That's the main piece of the TWAB they talk about. There were a few hiccups when it started. I think you were sleeping when all that went down, but the first few hours those servers were struggling. Even on PC, I was seeing people saying, "Oh, they're trouble getting on console." I was like, "Oh, BattleNet's got this. I get on." And I was like, "No, this is Destiny. They are struggling." You'd be like in the director and be like, "Oh, let me load in the tower." Not even get to the tower. Kicking back to orbit like over and over with errors. So it was a couple hours, and then they finally said server maintenance was done by about it was about 3 total hours, and ended up being full maintenance, and then it finally came back up. But during that time, it was may as well not even. I was like, I could record my weekly reset video, but it'd be like 2 minutes in and get kicked. I was like, I'm just going to take a quick nap, came back, and it was good. So
nice.
Yeah, it worked out. So after a few hiccups, pretty much everything was rocking and rolling. So couple things going on for you guys with Black Armory, things they are working on changing. And just because the first one is the Scourge of the past, those who did beat it in 24 hours, and again, if you're listening to this and you did, congrats and hats off, because I have definitely not done that. But great the emblem that came for the first 24 hours is not dropping, and they do know who's done it. So just they've got to fix it, and it will be sent out to the people who did earn it when they fix it. So it's just an issue, but they'll know they have the data and who did it and who didn't.
Yeah, as long as they acknowledge it, that's what's up.
But yeah, this time I heard it was. We can honestly probably just jump into the raid discussion now.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I heard there was about 900-ish teams that probably beat it in the first 24 hours, I think, between whatever first 50 teams. I saw somebody post a stat that it was like 46 on PC, maybe 3 on PS4, 1 on Xbox One, or vice versa. But I mean, very, very, very PC heavy for those hardcore.
Yeah, peep that. I did peep that. Yeah, huge disparity there, and it kind of mimics what happened with Last Wish, right? Because Last Wish was PC first. So yeah, definitely the hardcore community is here. But no, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, that is interesting to see, what I'm saying, how those numbers skew. I'm a little concerned about my console brethren, just like what's going on there, or is it just point of entry kind of thing? So that's very curious to me that it's so skewed, especially with PS4 being the with the exclusives on the platform. I would think those numbers would be a little higher. So it is interesting. It is interesting that a lot of people are not getting that, getting the raids done around that time. So I'm curious to see if they think about something as far as addressing that for future content. I'm very curious to see how they feel about that.
Yeah. I mean, some of that's just like the type of people who are going to play that. It's like it was only on console before, but some of your more like crazy hardcore people. I'm not saying there's not hardcore people, but they want that best experience, and that does. I mean,
get that, but just like one clear and the whole PS4, that's it.
Well, I mean, it wasn't only that. I was just going through first 50. Like, there may have been like 900 in the first 24 hours, but the first 50, like the first initial batch, was like probably heavier PC weighted than more people were finishing it throughout the day. But the first 50 was very, very heavy PC. So there may have been more. Like, I mean, remember when Cacus, he was one of the first ones.
He was one of the first. He was the first
console for Last Wish. Yeah, he was the first on console to do it, and there were probably more that came, but it was just that initial push. The first ones was those like some of the more hardcore people seem to be on that on the new PC platform, which is just interesting to think about. So
this is you pumping your chest out. I already know what this is. This is you master racing right now. It's all good.
This coming from the guy who's not going back to console.
This coming from the guy who dragged me to PC.
Yep. But yeah, for the raid itself, the raid recommended level was going to be 640. Now, we had 3 days to get here. The average person versus the people who actually were in that, kind of raid race, which actually was a fairly competitive one. I mean, it was done in, 2 hours, 2 to 3. I think a lot of people were starting to finish up. A good chunk of it was in there. What do you feel about recommended level, the people who actually did the race, the levels they were going in at, and just kind of this whole initial like leveling grind and how this whole release has gone? How do you feel so far? Like how it's been for some, how it is for others, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying not to say it. So I know. So, all right, let me hear it.
This is gonna be a regurgitation of last Flashpoint. I just think it's whack. Like I just think it's like, at the end of the day, guys are going in there, listen, I'm not mad at anybody who knows what to do with the system. Hey, if you know what to do with the system and you hold on to Engram and stuff like that, and that proves to work for you, by all means, you know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. I'm not knocking the hustle. All I'm saying is like, the rest of the population is struggling out there to get into this content. So again, it's leveling, it's onboarding, stuff that we've kind of talked about before. And with the raid, if they're going to figure out a way to stifle, which most likely they're going to do next time, which is stifle those guys for doing those exploits to get to starting new content, then it's like, okay, why are you so Bungie? Why are you so quick to put the raid out that Friday, when you figure 80%, what should we say about like 80%? Am I being generous saying 80% were not level?
95% of the people weren't ready. Are you kidding?
Exactly. So, and that was me being generous, right? So you figure that, but at the end of the day, it's like, what about just moving it back that week like he did last Wish? Give people time to grind, the rest of the community, so more people can enjoy the content. Because I think what's happening right now is that, you've got great content there, but if people are frustrated that they can't get to that level, I wouldn't say frustrated, but they know that they have so much more work to do, and then everybody else, you see the top 5% or 1% getting it done, sometimes that discourages people from wanting to do the content. And again, I'm not trying to say make things easier and all super casualization, because we know where that leads. Not going there. All I'm saying is that I think they still have to figure out the leveling. It's still off. It's still not where it needs to be. So as far as the raid, salute to those dudes that got it done. I did get a chance to check it out. It looked cool. I have one comment. It's probably going to lead into one of my likes and dislikes, so I might spoil it. The raid itself is cool. I like the encounters. I like the Sparrow. I like, being in the city. The city scale looks dope. I like that. I don't like is, okay, they told us they were going to go away from cinematics. Fine. How come I can't have lore? How come I can't have voice narrative? Similar to how when we, you beat Forsaken's main campaign, you open the Dreaming City, Petra starts talking to you, right? This is what we got to do. Da, 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 da. Riven, this is what we got to do. Da, 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 da. Why are we here? Why are we in the city? What's going on?
There's a little blip afterwards that we got from 801, but that was like post beating it, talking about the pages and stuff like that. So we got a little bit.
What was it? Can you tell me? Because I didn't see that. Honestly.
So basically, like once the raid was finished, they did kick off like a change in the world. So when you go talk to Ada, she mentions the fact that the book, which is what you're going into in there, it's like the book or something from the Black Armory, was stolen by the Fallen, and cannot remember the guy's name. Civics or what? Civics or something like that. No, hold on. No. But like Civics was like the one who stole it. But then she says, it's like, hey, the pages were ripped out from the book. So there's still some stuff we've got to go do. And that's where this continual kind of release of some of these forges are going to be. But it's also, some people are saying it's like this. It sounds like the lore of the raid itself is supposed to be something that comes like once you've beat all the forges. So like the ordering's a little bit off, but there is a little bit of like continuation of story there. But I just think some of it's like kind of out of place. And then if you're just one of those that like clicks through, let me get my bounties and doesn't pay attention to it,
right,
you miss the whole little bit.
Right. But here's the thing.
But I was like, but that little baby like doesn't have to be full rendered cinematic, just kind of the like the, I want to say like sketch feel to them, like when they did those little bits, like just a quick run through. Like that's like when you talk to her for the next time after that, everybody gets that little stand and be like, hey, first scene went in there, we talked to this, and we get that feel, and it just explains a little more. It doesn't have to be
Put it this way,
full rendered cinematic, but yeah, a little bit would be nice.
Put it this way, even if they actually regressed from Leviathan, in my opinion, as far as narrative lore. Even Callus was talking. You know, yes, come in here. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know, and then at your beat, you know, grow fat from strength, and you know all this other. At least it was something like this guy, you know, aka the Metal Gear, right at the end. Nothing like this. There's no talk. There's nothing. You know, the ghost doesn't say anything. Like I was just like, damn, like. Why are we here? What was their goal? I mean, we got kind of what their goal is, but again, like you said, reading bounties and stuff like that. But I'm watching these streams and I'm just like, this all looks cool. Just give me some narrative reason why we're here and some voice narrative as to, you know, why we're doing it. That's my main. Again, I know I'm probably going extra hard on them, but I have to because they've set the precedent. Forsaken. Even Leviathan had that. Like Leviathan, you flew in, okay, cool. You know, it didn't say much there, but at least when you landed, Callus is talking to you, right? You know, welcome, and each section of the thing, you know, you're going through. They had that with Forsaken beautifully. You know what I'm saying? Beautifully. As soon as you walk in, even after you beat the Techians, right? They, you know, she's talking. Hey, I was out of, you know, under control. Go get my sister. Rivens. It was beautifully done. What happened? We can't do that now with the expansion. That's what it is.
It's like, and that's the balance they're looking for. They're trying to like see what the pieces like. What do the people want? How far do they go? How far do they take? Like, do they like the story missions, the cinematics, the voiceovers? This is all that balance they're trying to figure out right now. And it's just going to be like a work in progress. So, I mean, I'm with you to the point where a little bit more would be good because it's always this kind of question mark of like a little bit what's going on. So it's like, we know we're going in there. We know we've got the Black Armories, this new thing opened. And it's like, and Ada's like, okay, so it's like, I can't do much because I can't get back to the forges. So you go, you fire up your first forge, you come back. And she's like, you know, got this little torn mentality of like, she's not a big fan of Guardians, but you're helping her out. So she's trying to like, you know, you're what's making it work. So I got to work with you. Second forge, stuff like that. And then the raid discussion about the book and the pages, just like little bits more. And there was like the graphic when you talked to Spider the first time and he's talking about all the Barons, talking about each one, that little introduction animation. That one's really, really cool. And that would be just something like, doesn't have to be full blown, but even a small pulled back version of that, talking about here's the book, you know, it was our founder's book. It had these things in there. It's like in this little graphic of Civics, like ripping the pages and running. It doesn't have to, and it can be like storyboard. It doesn't have to be animated, like, you know, kind of moving storyboards, and you can see the at least kind of idea what's going on. It doesn't always have to be full blown, but those small touches add a lot to give you that little more feel and motivation
Facts.
to go after that stuff.
You nailed it with the Barons, because that wasn't a full cinematic. I remember when again, getting on PC, having to replay it for a second. I forgot about that when you talk to Spider and he's telling you about the Barons and then showing you the little storyboard, art sketch kind of stuff. That's all they really needed. That's literally it. You don't have to go full bore with, how D2s first, launch with their cinematics. You can just do that and be fine. But they cannot go away. I'm not going to let them off the hook of going away and regressing on things that they've already done. And I know people can say, oh, it's an annual pass. It doesn't matter. You set the expectation. You've just had a great content drop. All I'm saying is continue that narrative. That's all.
Yep. So yeah, there were some issues with revive tokens, people like not actually running out of revive tokens. There's some glitch with that. So I know there was like maybe a asterisk on some raid first and stuff, but it was overall, I mean, the people who were going for it, I mean, watching Datto, he got like 20th because people were it was a pretty tight race. There was a lot of people involved. Shout out to Gigs. They did win it all. So I mean, they're gonna be getting their a lot of those teams are getting those jackets again. Woo! Yeah, that's something that like it'd be crazy to get. Don't know if I'll ever get to one of those, but maybe some point down the road would be cool.
Yeah. We just gotta save our Iron Banner bounties forever, and then we'll be ready. I'm joking.
Yeah, so I mean that's like we'll kind of get in more into that discussion later. So put a pin in that for a second. We will get back to those here in a little bit. But for the Black Armory Forges, you guys, if you are playing them, a couple things to make note of. Some weapon frames may be lost from inventories like on weekly reset. The high value the postmaster was actually not getting some things. Like I noticed the modulus reports were not going, and they mentioned it, so I didn't have to say it. But like I didn't have enough space in consumables, and I did a couple of those like the daily bounties that are giving you modulus reports, and I got none.
Wow.
So there's certain things that weren't going to the postmaster and moving stuff out. So some things weren't quite right. So basically, if you're doing Black Armory stuff, for one, you get these the ballistic logs. Those are what let you get the full weapon frames, which are kind of your powerful things for the week. Make sure you get your ballistics log, get your weapon frame, finish that in the week, because those ballistic logs go away. Now, this is on Bungie because they did not make that clear. Everybody like, hey, I got the ballistics logs. I'm not going to be able to get the weapon frame. I'll save it for next week, log it and get it, and then we're gone. So that's one of those pieces where it's like unclear. There should be this thing on the actual item itself saying, hey, this will disappear at reset, or there's a timer on it, something like that saying this stuff's gone, do it before then, and they did not make it obvious. That's another piece where it's a lack of it's a failed communication, and that's one of those things that is important. So ballistics logs, they go away at weekly reset. Make sure you have space in your consumables, in your pursuits when you guys are doing this stuff, so you have space to do what you need. Any of the stuff that you pick up, and you have places for it to go, because if you don't, you might be losing it while they're working on fixing it. So make sure you got space, do the stuff within a week, and just follow through, and only do one at a time. That's the other piece. Don't have multiple in your inventory, because if one clicks off and the other doesn't, it doesn't quite count right. So one at a time within the reset, and have space. I'll just say that multiple times because I don't want to have any issues. So that's just all. I've heard it a lot out there, and people are just kind of upset. So just a warning, especially if you're getting into it, make sure and listen to those three pieces. So
yeah, I agree.
But a preview for next week's patch. Woo. Now, this is where we're going to get into stuff. People are leveling up, some newer players, you switching over to PC. These are all things that are going to help. Now, last week they said they're going to increase the power jump when you get prime engrams, and they're going to be coming more frequently. You're like, cool, definitely going to work on getting that patch going. And that one's going right now. That one is actually in effect with the prime engrams. Have you been playing enough this week to like notice you're seeing a few more?
I've been playing a lot. Prime engrams have been dropping more frequently. Like levels.
How's the level bump been?
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna say it's it's trash. I would say sometimes like you get a 10-piece jump. So I will say
it's big. Like that's more than I ever see. So that's noticeable.
It fluctuates. It fluctuates. You get a 10 sometimes. 5 or 6, whatever. Yeah, I mean, they got to do more of it, and that's what I'm looking for 2.1.3, because I'll just get into a mini thing right here. It's just that,
but first one, say right there.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like this, and first of all, I am not about the casualization of this game. I'm not trying to tell people to tell Bungie to shift in another direction and make everything accessible for everyone. All I'm saying is when you drop new content, right? And the way Black Armory is set up, you know, that's end game content. So 600, and those guys, you guys are struggling from 6 to 650, right? Now you have a huge section of the base that now, let's say it's like, hey, I'm going to get into it. You know, we at this point could not recommend Black Armory to a new player because you literally would not be able to, you know what I'm saying, like even access the content. So what they have to do, which is what I liking what I'm seeing with 2.1.3, is say, hey, we've got to get those guys that are Forsaken and pre-Forsaken up to level in a faster way. So this way, you know, those guys don't get frustrated with a 2 to 3 week grind. And me and you have had conversations about this off, you know, off Flashpoint. And that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? Because now I'm experiencing it as a new Guardian on PC. I'm like, man, like I'm playing a lot, Like I'm putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going hard. I'm doing all my bounties. I'm doing all my powerful engrams. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get stuff done. And it's been a slow creep. And it kind of sucks. Like I want to catch up, get to where you at, you know, so I can at least try the forge. Like I can't even try, you know, say kind of thing. So seeing them do these kind of things, I want to see it. Obviously, I want to see how much of a significant drop these high power rewards give. So yeah, let's see, man. Let's see. But that's pretty much where I'm at with it. Where are you at with it when you hear about, you know, the under 600 power crew?
I mean, watching you is a perfect example because this is the idea. Like when you get a new expansion, you have new content that people want to play. They've worked on addressing the forge. They do want it to be in-game content. So you're kind of have a balance of, you don't have this like story to level you up a bit and kind of ease you in. And then there's pieces where we can get to that and I'll kind of save a little bit. But it's like, these are the steps that need to change because as you said, the content that people want to get to is the new stuff. And getting people like having a chance to get towards that, like, let me hit the old cap. It's the old cap, not the new one. Let's get to that old cap quick. Then you can work on slowing it down and kind of like phase them down and be like, hey, when you get up to 595, things slow down a little bit, 600 a little bit more, 605, you'll feel that gradual progression to where, okay, now the grind's getting real. But up to there, like 5 to 600, look, I'm kind of stepping on one of my points already, but that soft cap has got to move. Has to move.
Got to, man. It's got to. You've got to encourage people to play your new content. And they have always historically struggled with old content whenever a new content drop happens. You know, that's just been a Bungie thing, like making old raids irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Like they've got great old content. Just make it relevant and give people incentive. Yo, if you do the old content and you still get high bumps, that you'll get right into the field eventually, you know, with a concerted effort. And you know, again, this is a step in the right. Let's give them credit. This is a step in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? I think Black Armory is a learning experience with this new in-game experiment, so to speak. So you know, we'll see. You see how it goes on from like the Drifter and Penumbra. So you know, I mean, that's pretty much what I got to say on it because, like I said, as a hardcore player, L Boogie in the chat was the chat's lit today. Shout out to Megatron.
What's up?
Shout out Slow Mo. A lot of people in the chat. It's good to see. So yeah, it's like, you know, at the end of the day, like for a new player coming over, I'm experiencing what it's like. So, you know, just to have that, them cater to say, hey, let's get these engrams going. Let's get these guys up to 600 so they at least then they can then be throttled and start the new grind. I have no problem with being throttled at the 600 mark. Let's just get us up to speed.
Yep. So yeah, it's like, I mean, there's little tweaks and stuff, and they're, as you said, they're getting there, they're working, they're not there yet, but it's like they're starting to see what kind of needs to happen. So other issues are going, they're working on getting the Sparrow for getting all the eggs, they're getting what is it? So just random little fixes and stuff. 1,000 Voices is getting a change on PC. It was doing more damage at higher frame rates, so they're bringing it down. Unfortunately, not bringing the others up. So those like 144 frames are frame people, stuff like that. Like when you're running that fast, it was doing more damage, and I think people were really enjoying that, or maybe taking advantage of it. I don't know how extreme it was, but now that 1,000 Voices is coming back down. I'll kind of wonder where it sits after this because I mean, I've seen people, and again, playing on PC, it's like I'll have people like, you know, spray the ground around a corner from me and I still die. And I'm like, that thing is insane. So I don't know if they're getting those benefits or it is still just that insane for a normal person. So we'll just have to see where it stands after. It's like, is it going to still be worth it?
Yeah, I've always felt when I got hit by that thing, it felt unnatural. Like
Yeah, it's like it sneezes near you and you're dead. Like it's
Yeah, I'm like,
weird
what is
level of
going
crazy.
on?
So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I mean that one's getting a tweak. We'll see where it falls. A couple things about shaders and things like that. Most of that stuff is going to be, and they don't put a date, but that's supposed to be next week, right? Like the 18th is the 2.1.3. Yeah, so that's going to be next week. So I mean the big thing about the grind coming up, and we'll talk more about that. Also, next week, for one, have you jumped into Mayhem yet? Please tell me you have.
Oh, I have not yet. I have
my
not.
God,
I know that's my baby too. I
this
love
is literally part of your job, sir. What at least before the podcast requirements.
Of course. You know I love Mayhem.
So, without having played it, I'm actually kind of curious. This works for a blind discussion.
Yes.
What do you think is going to be a popular thing to use now that we have all our options?
Okay,
just guessing, and I can probably I'll tell you, but I want you to guess.
The easy guess would be my Nova Warp or how beastie it is, but I think right now there's a little. Watch my language.
Keep it clean, sir. Keep it clean.
I'm gonna keep it clean. But there's a little, jerk meta going on right now, with dudes running around with the hunters are running around with tractor cannons and tethers, acting up. I heard. So that's what I heard. But
that's not in Mayhem.
That's not what's going on.
Nope, not at all.
Let me see. Give me one more guess.
All right.
It ain't. Warlocks are not even in the discussion. I don't think.
Let's just say you don't have to aim the damn thing.
You don't have to aim. Oh, it's Blade Barrage. Gotta be
everywhere.
Yeah, Blade Barrage.
All I hear. You don't have to think. You don't have to aim. You jump up. You get 2 throws on groups of enemies, and it's just. And some of them, I swear, I know Mayhem is fast, but I swear they almost get that crap instant. I don't know if it's broken. I literally need to jump on my hunter and see how it feels. Now, I don't know if it's certain exotics that are helping to come back, but I swear one dude throws it at me, and then I swear in like the death screen, he's turning around and doing it again. Now, I could be crazy because there could just be multiple people throwing it, but I was like, I literally want to record and see like it is everywhere. And it was honestly the one I figured, because if you see that thing in Crucible, you see it in. You can't dodge that thing; it's too fast.
You can't. It is ultimate nullifier. It's faster because even with a Nova Bomb, you got like a split second to react and try to get out of there. Right? If you jump right or whatever, if you blink or whatever. There's time. I've timed it. I've tried blinking. When a hunter does that, you're not getting away. And then isn't it if they got shards of Galanor, then it's back on again? What's that exotic? Is that exotic?
Supposed to? I don't know what the shards one does because I don't. Yeah, shards of Galanor. There's dramatic in there. That may be what's giving them that recharge time. But
they get it back.
Crap. And see, Mayhem is one of those things where it's like the tweaking of super versus super. And this is one thing you don't run into as often when you're doing normal Crucible, and it's like quick plays and stuff like that. There you go. Shards of Galanor, 1.5 seconds return of super. And he's literally saying it in chat. I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy. So he does it to me, and if he hits me, he gets that like burn over time, I guess, or that quick recharge. And like it takes me a little bit to get my super back in Mayhem. Like you hang around, but I mean it's like I don't know, 20 seconds is still pretty quick. But I got to run around. I have time to shoot some stuff. I can watch the bar go up, hang around, and get it back. But he threw it, and then it's like, man, it was like a few seconds later, done. I'm like what the hell? Just need to hit a target, not even kill it. Yeah. Thank you, Dramatic, for giving me the. I just haven't played my hunter. So, that is insane. So that's why you're.
Yeah, Kai Batu said shards of Galanor giving back super depending on how many kill. Okay, so what it's doing is it's functioning like a Warlock Skull of Amankara, which is basically
refresh. Yep.
So the more you kill, the more you get back. Oh man,
and Guardians are always powerful enemies. So I mean, that's gonna get good.
Shout out to the hunters that got some OP meta. Sinister, you in here, so I don't want to hear nothing about hunters a week. This is the Forsaken meta is for the hunters, baby. Y'all out here.
Blades now too. I've watched some of that stuff.
Blades is a problem. I cannot get away from that. You know what I'm saying? Shards is. But it's good to see hunters needed that, man. Titans was running things for a while. Warlocks have been in there, so I don't necessarily mind it, but I see what you're talking about. I'm saying that while I have no experience playing Mayhem. So when I play Mayhem, I'm cursing hunters out once I get in and see what it's about.
Oh yeah, like jump in there. We'll talk next week because we got nice thing is we have 2 weeks of Mayhem. So I'm hoping they get it back in the rotation. They said they did, but we have it for 2 weeks straight. and it's basically one of those things to where we do have some options with it, but I
Mhm.
want you to play it so you can actually give me some experience from it,
Oh,
because I know what
absolutely.
I'm feeling. But the other
Absolutely.
thing I wanted to talk about is the super versus super. We got a little distracted. Like,
Let's go.
there are times I'm literally walking around in hammers. I have a traveling super. I'm literally throwing the hammer. It's in the air, and like they have that wonderful like little bit of lag timing where like okay, and they're say it's Blade Barrage. They could pop that. They take my Sumer. They do enough damage to kill me, but they took a hammer in the face and they didn't die. And that is the balance of like, okay, so I literally threw it midair before you got it off, and then just because you have that like extra shield time while you cast your super, even if it's short, I can't kill you and I lose.
Interesting.
And there's a personally an issue with like certain supers are more powerful than others, and I'm like, if I hit you first, you should still die because I'm in my like so. So like there's some of those balances of certain things. I was like, trying to do. I'm not the talented one with Nova Warp just because I've never hardly used it. But yeah, there's certain ones where it's like it's doesn't feel fair to all supers because there's ones that overpower. Some are quicker than others. Some do that quicker burst. Some have that roaming section. But if my hammer's in the air, you shouldn't win. I'm sorry, but that's just me.
If you get off first, that should be the prevailing super. I mean, that's just how it should be. So I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with you, and I do see that some supers tend to have that that armor on them, so to speak, right? That it seems a little unfair. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. They have to look at that, especially with balance. And like I said, we already know Nova Warp is coming with a nerf. So will they touch shards? I mean, shards. Will they touch Blade Barrage? We'll see. But it's definitely dominant. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, so that's been a thing. If you guys have any thoughts, throw them in chat, of course, right now. Thank you guys for the info on shards, of course.
Buggy agrees with
you. Yeah, no, it's just that feeling because even with your shields and stuff like that, it's like I'll wail on people with multiple supers and they have one quick kill, and I'm like, all right, I'm screwed. So you can walk around with a shield and take some damage and stuff but there's certain times where I'm just either throwing hammers or smashing around, but it's like they just get that one quick instant. And now Thunder Crash may have that option because you're going to travel through the air. But then it's like, I want to see like and this is where like I need to probably get some people in there. It's like, I want to have Thunder Crash up on Mayhem in private matches and have somebody like, as I'm flying through the air, do Blade Brush, and I want to see who wins that. Because that's kind of like, that'd be an interesting thing to test because you have the flight time, but you are in your super still, and you are supposed to have that one big hit. And if you can't even land that thing before you get killed with blades, then that's one of those, like, you can't like make it. You have to land, and if you can't, you're screwed. So there's probably some testing that people need to do, and I'm curious. But that whole super versus super, I see it a lot more now, and it just makes those times when I'm like, damn it, I had my super on and I still lost that other guy, but I was like, I swear I hit him first, and now I'm just seeing it more. So it's just, yeah, you got to get in there. Let me know your thoughts, and don't just live in your Nova Warp. Mix up your supers. Let me see how it goes. Just so you can like see how they all feel and play against others. Because you'll see plenty of hunters.
I've played with others.
No, I know. I was just like for testing. I kind of want you to get a feel for multiples, and then we'll see how next week feels.
I got to get my third subclass, sir. That's been the issue right now. So yeah, Scream's been trying to help me, and
where's you just which one did you get? Did you get like the level, like the random drop from the blind well?
Yeah, so basically what happened is, first choice when I first got the game with you, your chat had me go with Chaos Reach. I'm glad I did that. That's my PvE for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing that all the time. Then I'm like, don't like it for Crucible as much, even with this, the thing, Nova Warp is just king. So I needed to get Nova Warp so I can play Crucible more. So I did that second. But then I've been kind of just in blind well, and it looks like it's not dropping. Like I've been grinding blind well, thinking that tier 3 would give me it again, and it's not. So I think it's tied still specifically to
tier 2.
Well, no, I think the third seed of light is tied to the Cali raid part encounter and the Morosov Ascendant thing.
Yeah, so I can tell you how I got mine because I finished my 100 this week.
Yeah, tell me.
One was from Marasov, so that's where you get your Oracle on the third week. One was the normal one, but one is in. There is one you get in blind well guaranteed.
Yeah, that is facts. That's why I got one in there. Yeah.
Which one? Which did you get on a tier 2 or heroic?
I think I got it on. I'm pretty sure I got it on a heroic. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I got it on the horizon.
So, like, I think that's almost like a guarantee. So then your
Yes.
third, just spend some time in Blindwell next week, hit that 100% on that weekly, and then go talk to her, and you'll have it next week.
Yeah,
So
I'm
that's
gonna
when
have to
you'll
link
get
with
it.
you on that, man. Because yeah, I gotta get my third. Because right now, I really need that for pre Black Armory. You know what I'm saying? Like I need my Well of Radiance. I always felt that helped me when I was under level trying to do high end content. So that is a must. I'm like, I miss my Well of Radiance. I miss it. Let's go.
It's definitely a thing. I got the Phoenix Protocol. That thing in Well of Radiance is a big thing for PvE because if you get a decent amount of kills in your Well of Radiance, you're doing it in a strike or clearing like a whole bunch of raid ads.
Yeah.
Like I get done and I'm like over half ready to go again. I'm just like, sweet. Yeah. So Phoenix Protocol's like in a pretty good spot. And that's like some of these exotics like really help in specific supers. Like those are the types of things where some exotics still feel like they have a purpose, and other ones like Knucklehead Radar, get out of here. Seriously, like
we're gonna
there's certain
talk
ones
about that.
need a little love. So yep. But yeah, Iron Banner is coming the last week of the Dawning. So it'll be our first Iron Banner of season 5. Got a little new look on the armor here. Nice little color scheme we got rotating right now. So that is going to be December 25th. So starts on Christmas Day if you guys are going to have some time away to do that, and ends on New Year's. So as always, Christmas and New Year's a year apart. What do you think of the new look? Of course, I mean, Iron Banner always has its feel, but I'm digging the color scheme.
I've been feeling it. I mean, this Iron Banner, they've the last couple of Iron Banners, they've gone with the Oriental theme. This is cool. I like the design. I can't. I mean, my Warlock's looking snazzy. Hunters look cool. How you feel about that Hunter hood though? I'm curious.
I can dig it. It's got like a little it's got like a little crown, but I like how it's I mean the head looks a little more ornate, but I like the way it's kind of the flowing cape to the side.
To the side, the cape to the side. That's kind of how you
so I dig that one. Titan actually looks right? I was literally about to say that. Like the Titan looks smaller. Like the head is a little more like just shapely in form. The shoulder pads aren't that big. Like, and it's like I don't know if they're using a female or male model, but it definitely looks like a thinner Titan model for sure. So, and even the mark almost blends into the armor. So, I mean, it's like, I would definitely say the Hunter's cloak kind of sets it apart, and the robe looks pretty good on the Warlock and the helm. Yeah, Titans went kind of low key this time. I was
about to say Titan is like the low key one, because even the sash is kind of just small, like everything.
Yeah, it's a little green thing, but it's basically gray blending in with the pants. Like it's barely there. Like both the Warlock and then even the pants on the Hunter have that like offset color, and like the Titan's just like it's gray from the waist down, and no even gold on the shins. So it's like it's pretty chill. So somebody worked on the first 2 models, be like, crap, I only got an hour. Let me do this real quick. Like they like ran out of time on the third one. So Iron Banner is always fun. You guys get a ton of if you've grinded out your Dawning. You've got your cooking all done. You're like at a kind of level. If you want a way to get some powerful gear and you're like you trying to get your level up and stuff, 7 powerful gear bounties, that's huge. Spending some time in Crucible, so you'll get your dailies. You'll probably do that twice in the week. You'll get your weekly for 5 matches. You got your bounties to work on. I mean, that's a lot of powerful gear just from doing PvP. And if you don't want to, that's one of those things where I wish like the bounties would have kind of a graduation of difficulty too. So if you want to do like if you want to do your 5 daily matches, you might knock out like 1 or 2, and then they kind of progress to get harder. And then maybe like, the top 2 are like powerful gear plus, almost like the really long grinds will give you an even bigger boost if you want to spend the time. But those who don't have time to spend like 30 matches in Iron Banner in a week, which I know they shorten the time on some of those, would be able to get some done. So it'd be kind of cool to see that progression in some of those bounties to be like, hey, these top 2 are going to be like, a little bit extra special, and they're going to be like Black Armory boosts or Prime Engram boost, and the others are going to be your smaller ones. Because if you have 7, but they'll give you like 1 or 2 light level, just like a daily Crucible match or something. Those don't feel like they have the same effect when you have to spend that much time on Crucible. So a little bit of variety in those, I think, might be nice. I know it's kind of a random thing to say, but just on the moment thought. But we got a couple year 1 guns coming back, a new emblem, new shader. We got the Suros, looks like the SMG, and then the hand cannon, and I forget, it's like Kremli's dagger or something like that. But they're coming back
Kremli's dagger.
They're coming back with random rolls, so that'll be a new thing.
I'm looking forward to that because I'm a huge fan of the Duke. And I
Okay.
believe it's a 110 Criminal's Dagger. And now with random rolls, and because it had good base stats. So I'm very excited to get that. Hero's Burden was my baby, but just SMGs are just not in a good place ever since shotguns came back. So, I mean, I'm going to get it, but I'm really looking forward to that Criminal's Dagger. I think that may have some potential.
Yeah, just for that kind of quick, heavy tap. So it's, I
Yeah.
mean, it's still like if you got stuff like Lunas and Not Forgottenly, I mean, yeah, those are a heavy grind.
Mhm.
But if you can get them, I mean, they make every other hand cannon
Yeah.
kind of look not worthwhile in PvP. But
Facts.
so, but it's just nice to see. And this is one thing, like we'll get to it too. But it's like year one, it's coming back. We'll put a pin in that because that's kind of an important piece that's going to be for our likes and dislikes and stuff like that. But bounties, they said, will function the same way, powerful engrams, and they unlock the piece of armor underneath it. So if you want the full set, do all the bounties for that character, and you can actually buy them all with just the tokens you get. So
absolutely,
that'll be good. And nice thing, it'll be a double Valor and triple Valor weekend as well. So Christmas to Friday, you'll have the double Valor, and then over that weekend again, that triple Valor. So if you're looking for, again, starting to get some work on those quests, if you didn't get your Redrix and you had to start over, like those pieces, that's your time. Because right now, if you're just doing some basic, and I swear I'm getting like less of Valor and Mayhem, I'll get a loss and I'll move like 6. And I'm like, this is going to take forever.
Really?
I need to go do like a quick play, and like I need to compare those because I was playing, and even just like on a little streak, I was like, it barely budged. And I'm on like, what's the first, like the second tier, like Brave or something, like Brave 2 or 3. It's creeping slow. I'm only at like 300 Valor, and it's going like snail's pace right now. So I got to see if those are different for quick play or for Mayhem. They toned it down because those matches are a little faster. But I mean, that's kind of one of those, like, if you put time in, like, don't change them. So I'm gonna have to see if I'm just crazy. But man, it feels slow right now. So
yeah, facts.
Definitely a grind. So yeah, there were definitely some patch issues, stuff like that. Again, December 18th will be 2.1.3 with the boost to the 600 gear and things like that. Ava's back. So think about the Dawning. Anything involved with the Dawning, whether it's triumphs, whether it's bounties, whether it's weekly bounties, anything like that has to be claimed and completely done before it ends. Because come January 1st reset, everything is gone. So don't hang on to anything. Leave pursuits in there. You have to finish them or you won't get a chance to finish them. So make sure you do that. Please don't leave anything out there. Let's see. And then a couple videos, of course. 3-man flawless Scourge of the Past. These guys are just crazy. So that's nuts. 7th column with the chaperone sounds insanely impressive. I haven't seen that one. So some of these of the week are definitely some highlights for sure, and then some high five in action. So but yeah, there's always some cool art out in the community. I do like how Bungie will just like have it out there in the community and just pull stuff from either Twitter posts or other community people, and they just throw some of them up there because the artists out in the Destiny world, I mean, some people like they draw all they want. You'll see stuff over different games, but Destiny brings some of the coolest art to the game itself by people who just love the game, and they're just artists. They're like, hey, I love the game, I'm going to do a drawing. And you get stuff like this from the community. It looks awesome. So yeah, these things are really, really cool. So that art's cool. There will be one more TWAB next week. Yes. And that will be the last one of the year. So that'll probably be our last podcast of the year will be next week. So take a little break with Christmas, traveling, and holidays and things like that. And then probably when they come back, we will as well, unless there's something crazy that happens. But also next week will be the last Forge that launches. So we'll have a little time to talk about that, kind of see. And then they even take a break on the calendar of activities till like January 8th. So we're going to have some downtime. We'll give you guys a couple weeks off. We'll still be playing, of course, but you guys will not have to listen to our rambling for a little while.
They get a break for long for you.
Yeah. So I'll just kind of leave the graphic up for now, but I know we got a couple other topics to talk about. So kind of want to cover the TWAB. We've kind of touched on the raid, the new character grinding, but I mean, do you want to hit those any specific like touches that we haven't got to yet on those? Another raid, like first, is there anything else you want to cover about the raid? Kind of the way that was leveling, the way people were saving stuff. Is there anything you think we didn't touch there already?
No, I mean, for the most part, like I said, I just really wanted to talk about the design of it and the you know, the ball stuff, and I've already voiced my displeasure with the narrative stuff. But as far as the raid itself, it looked fun. I love that section with the sparrows and having to go, race through that wild craziness with that, what is it, that servitor chasing you?
Yeah, it almost looks like it reminds me of the flaming servitor from either Prison or the Warden of
Yes.
Nothing Strike. It has that look, but it looks bigger. So
Yeah. And I
yeah,
like the,
it looks daunting to be chasing you.
yes. And I like the mechanic of once you get through that part, both guardians have to get to the door and like close it at the same time. I think that's a cool little feel. The same
So
thing.
on that one, can people actually carry, like if two make it and close it and the other ones
Yes.
die, will they eventually be able to like get the checkpoint and respawn
They'll
them?
get the checkpoint and they can respawn the rest of the group. So
Because
just
Sparrow race with randoms, like not everybody's great at that. So carrying some people through there, you might be like, all right, I'm driving, we doing this, don't bump into me. Us two, we're gonna carry you guys. If you make it, you make it. You don't, you don't. But yeah, we'll get to the end. So like that's gonna be one of those things. And that's kind of the nice thing too, is they need some pieces in raids where we have those like, hey, I'm gonna clutch it moments, because everything's been like everybody has to do everything so much. And like Last Wish has been nobody can drop a ball because otherwise the whole team is screwed. Like you can't clutch for someone or help someone. And now this is one of those pieces nice to see that you can.
So. I agree. So yeah, that, and then obviously the boss, I was looking at the mechanics of that. I thought the boss was interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely like what you fight. That's
cool. It's very, very interesting what you find. I thought that was
shout out to a little mech warrior action there. I don't know if you remember that from an older game, but yeah, those big old mechs walking around. It's pretty sweet looking. I kind of like how it's like it's a substantial thing. I think they get the tanks involved that you can spawn. Like they've got some nice fun mechanics they can do with more of an outdoors space and like kind of down to earth in the city and mechanical stuff. They kind of
how do you feel about that whole map mechanic, like when everything seems to be revolved around looking at a map and one person giving out instructions, and how you felt about that part?
I mean, I thought it was kind of cool. You have to like keep that platform open, so you got to clear the servitor quick. So some person's managing that. It's kind of have the point where you have teams going out, kill stuff, and tell them where to go. So it's like an interesting way to manage, because we normally don't have like a big open space for a mechanic. It's just like, here's a room for an encounter, or here's this thing you have to progress through. It's like, here's like almost an open world area, and you have to be able to navigate around it. So it's a different spin. Explaining the directions to newbies might be a little harder, but if you like split into pairs, then you just stay with this person and people know what they're doing, can carry. So I like how they took a something where you have like a puzzle to do, but you actually have somebody, like one person managing, kind of coordinating a team type thing. So it's kind of a cool feel. Like I'm sure in the moment, as I haven't played it, it's probably going to have some frustrations to it. I have no doubt. But it's one thing that I feel like we haven't seen that big of a space for an encounter yet, because everything so far has seemed mostly room based per se. So there's a little more traveling around. So it seemed pretty cool to me. But again, I could also see some frustration, so I can understand that as well. What about you?
No, I mean, you pretty much nailed everything I had to say on it. I mean, that was pretty much it. I thought, like I said, I thought it was a real cool, encounter. I'm very curious to see, once the dust settles, where people kind of rank it. You know what I'm saying? And once more, actually, we need to meet more people to be able to experience it, so then we can, actually have fun ranking. So we'll see. But that was pretty much all I had on the raid.
So now I just kind of want to get into the whole new character grind, things we're thinking about, and this kind of may bleed over into likes and dislikes, but we'll kind of save those mostly towards last. So I mean, you as a new character, you've been grinding through, like, how do you feel about where things are at with mod components, enhancement cores, infusion, as you're leveling up and playing this game? How do you feel that, as you've done it before, so you know what to do? But I mean, if you were going to tell a new person, like, hey, this is what you've got to do, how would that experience be portrayed to somebody else?
I think it's still rough. And the reason why I say that is because I'm coming in with experience of what to do correctly, right? So I'm not over infusing. I'm not, I'm daily going to Spider. I'm getting an enhancement core every day. These are kind of things that I would say the casual or new Destiny player might not be familiar with, right? So, you got that aspect. But as I've played now, one thing I've realized is that I understand the place of enhancement cores. I think what their design choice was like, hey, we've got to make choices matter. we've got to make this thing, not as fast to get up a little bit, get up and level, kind of thing. So I understand that, but the negative, and this goes out to that little piece you sent me. I believe I forgot which I believe it was it Christopher Barrett or was it
Cosmos? It's right here.
Yeah, where people were talking, they were voicing their complaints with enhancement code. I think my number one for me is I can't look the way I want to look. Like I'm forced, like I have cool looking armor, but just because something else comes in that has more highlight, I'm forced now to wear that. You know what I'm saying? The same thing can be applied to weapons. If you hate a specific weapon type, but that's your highest light, you're kind of forced, right? You kind of, what else you're going to do? So there's still some things that are, I would say, flawed about it. You know what I'm saying? I understand the thought process. So that's the first thing. And then, the second thing is obviously, which they're going to hopefully address with this next patch, is just, it's you're doing your dailies and you're doing all these different activities. It's still a slow creep, man. It's a slow creep. And I'm concerned that it's because I love the game. I'm going to do it. I'm having so much fun. I'm going to do it. But I also recognize I am a small percentage of this community, right? There are more, I hate to use the word, casuals than there are of me, right? So if I'm a casual person, again, I'm not trying to make the game completely easy. That's not where I'm going with this. But what I'm saying is you have to incentivize them somewhat to keep playing, because guys are gonna be like, oh wait, you guys, I'll get Forsaken and Black Armory, I'll get to play with you guys, and then it's like, no, you're not.
not for like 3 or 4 weeks. And some of that's going to be changing for sure.
It's like I'm put in the penalty bin right now. That's how I feel, like a hockey term. I'm in the penalty and I'm watching you guys play on the ice. And I'm like,
and you're over there like doing your homework first.
Yeah, it's like I gotta do homework, fam. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can't even. And I'm hearing the stories, and people like, yo, the Forge is actually cool when you get up level. And then the thing that's killing me inside, to be honest, this is a stupid thing.
No,
I am mad that you have access to Ada. That's the Exo's name.
Yep.
I'm mad that you got access to component mods, the component parts.
Now that I will say, like dislike saving it for later. Ooh. That I do. I think Bungie made a horrible call there. Absolutely huge misstep, because that is a piece of the game's economy that is used by everyone. Doesn't matter if you have the content or not. And to be able to have to finish the Forge, to be able to buy mod components, which I've talked about forever, because I have 6,000 weapon parts to use on nothing. And now I do. But if you didn't get Black Armory, you literally can't buy those. And I'm just like, no, that's dumb. That vendor can be there to introduce the content. Hey, you can buy weapon cores from here. Hey, what are these bounties about? Okay, I have to get the content, but you can at least buy them there. You should all be able to do that.
Yeah, and what's killing me is during this period, Banshee has sold super mods, which I desperately need, right? I don't have any way of getting those. Like, I mean, I could do the hustle that Screen puts me onto, which is, you try to take blues from collections and break down 20 of them a day and hopefully get 2, you know what I'm saying, to get to the 10 that's required to get the thing. But it's like, damn, it's this new content there, and I can't even utilize that. Like, that sucks. Like, I just want to do something new. That's all I want to do. I want to be able to, as the, less than 600 person, have some semblance of the new content. And maybe they just need like a lower light Forge for, the beginners. Like, this is your little playpen. You go over here, you know what I'm saying? And then you guys have the big leagues over there. But at least, we're touching new content. I just don't like the fact that I'm literally doing what I've been doing and Forsaken this entire time. And I'm just like, again, I'm in the penalty box, man. I'm just waiting for my time so I can join the skate on the ice with the big boys.
No, I mean, you are not wrong, because that was the big thing with the release, and they lowered it down 5 levels because that is meant to be in-game. They don't want it to be easy, but you have people who don't get to try it. They don't want to go grind their old stuff. If you're at least going to add something new, give them a piece of this. I mean, they take a Nightfall strike and you do a Nightfall, and if you finish it, even with 0 points, it takes you an hour. It doesn't matter. You will get a drop. Then if you go, okay, I'm higher level, I can crank up the modifiers, I can crank up the handicap, make this thing a challenge, then, yep, Dramatic saying it too, then you actually get a full, like, then you're going to get a, then that thing's going to give you that boost over 600 power. And that should be either, say at first when you're leveling up, I mean, Dramatic said it, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. There should be like hard, there should be like normal, hard, and then say like a legendary difficulty of these things, and be like recommended first 500. You're only going to get legendary drops. They're not really going to help you, but get a feel for the mechanics. Then there might be one at like, 550. You might add like one that you have to kill. There's not as many, and be like, hey, the powerful one, you got less time. You got to get more batteries. The enemy help. That's
there you go.
That's your, and then when you say recommended power level, don't give me 610 and make the final guy 630. Say recommended 610 to 630. Give me the range so I know what that high end is like. Okay, this is going to be a struggle. And also, like, when you go to matchmaking, don't let 580s try and matchmake into like a 630 activity. Love of God. Like, because that's what people are saying is, by the way, this is a very prime example. They put matchmaking on this type of activity so everybody could finally shut up about wanting raid matchmaking, because these mechanics are not that hard and blueberries will struggle till they're blue in the face. So trying to have people do a raid with matchmaking, maybe not talking, it's not gonna happen. So like matchmaking on a raid, unless you dumb down the mechanics a lot, like, and you have like a little pop and be like, hey, this is like a sparrow racing section, like, or you have to drive your sparrow, make it to the end. 2 out of the 6 of you have to make it there. Like, you would have to go like clear on, explain it, and then when they come in, then if you like, hey, go look out, and even if Bungie doesn't ever want to put like true matchmaking in the game, be like, hey, there are websites, check the forums, there are places to look to find other people to play with if you want to run full mechanics for powerful gear. They either have to go that far and like make people work together, or you're not going to get matchmaking. So it has to be dumbed down very low, or but giving people options to experience the content is what they all want. So that low, medium, hard difficulty, get some blues, get some legendaries, get some powerful engrams. When you level up and level, that's what they've got to do.
Yeah, no, I agree. They have to do that. Like I said, it's a tweak. It's a balance. And someone else said something recent. I want to shout him out. Say no to rage. He's got a good video up right now saying how like the leveling is busted and stuff like that. And a point he made that I thought actually was a decent idea is, even with the current grind for less than 600, just in general, even you guys, like when you're going through your daily powerful engram rewards, that kind of stuff, powerful gear rewards, like, what sucks is, obviously we know the way the system is set up, it's RNG based, right? It's, sometimes it's your boots holding you back, right? Or your energy holding you back. So you get it and it's just like, damn, another gun. So one thing he mentioned, I think is actually a cool idea is, whether it be on rotators, right? Let's just say when the reset happens, one set of powerful gears is giving you armor. So, if you're missing, an armor piece, what I'm saying? At least if I do this activity, if I play Crucible 5 times, it's going to give me powerful armor, right? And then other one may say powerful weapon, what I'm saying? Kind of deal. Again, not giving you the specific one that you need to just make it blow through fast, but at least you can focus on actually what you need. Because a lot of times that's what's been happening to me, right? I'm like, damn, like, I've been getting weapons. I'm like, man, I need armor. Like, that's all I need. And I can't even, get that. So again, there was one thing I thought was like a decent suggestion. A couple of people, have been kind of commenting on that, and as far as the enhancement cores, I'm in the middle. I'm gonna be honest with you, E. I'm torn. I understand the place for them. My only negative with it is I just don't like it restricts me from looking cool. I want to look cool. That's a big part of Lord Cognito. We got to be fly out here. My warlock got to shine. So I don't like having to put on nasty things just because the light is higher. So, which brings us back to transmog. We're getting to that point now. Like
Yeah,
we
I mean,
kind of,
it's
yeah,
got to
it's
happen.
got to happen. It's got to happen.
There's a way you could. I mean,
Mhm,
I know the programming is not easy. I know they're managing inventory and space and servers and all those different things. But when
mhm,
you're looking at inventory, you're looking at okay, so you have your equipment slot.
mhm,
So yeah, hashtag Destiny
mhm,
transmogs.
mhm,
Like, there's got to be a point where if there's a way for you to, the amount of time it takes you to break down an exotic, you got to
mhm,
hold the button for a little while. Say I've got to hold, on
mhm,
this thing, I've got to hold right trigger for 5 seconds,
mhm,
and then this is gonna be your locked appearance, and you
mhm,
have a slot for that, and it just says this is what it's gonna lock into, and you take that that skin, and you attach that to your guardian. Your
mhm,
stats and stuff are the other side, but you have to. I mean, that way you could still take the inventory where it is, but like you do that and you lock it in as your this is my look.
mhm,
Stats and stuff could move around, but this you lock in your look, and that's just like set
mhm,
to your character until you choose to change it. And that could take, and you could take some time to update the servers and things like that. Because I mean, they still have to do that. If you switch stuff over, it takes time for it to load.
mhm,
So they have to, ping the server, pull it back, and actually get it to load onto your character. Do the
mhm.
same thing. And honestly, for loading, it's like then once you load in, you don't always have like the armor switching around. You change the stats, but then you don't have to render that character again. And again, not a programmer. I could be saying all this and it's completely false.
We understand it. Yeah, we understand it.
But that would be one of those things that would be like they need that point because as you've said, like infusion should not honestly um cost enhancement cores because that is not the title
Mhm,
of the thing. You're not enhancing it. I'm literally just bringing it up to my level so I
mhm,
can use it. So I mean, that's one of those pieces where if I get a new piece of gear and it's like 620 but it's trash, okay, well let me throw that into something just because I did get a new drop but I like the rolls on another piece. No, can't
mhm.
really do that if I'm out of
Nope.
cores or I'm new. And that's the big thing is about leveling up new characters. Is like somebody's like, oh, cool. I got the Thunderlord as a random drop. I'm loving this thing. And I have, I got a head with like machine gun reserves and I'm really loving this. I got more space.
Mhm,
Okay, well now this thing's 5 levels higher. Do I not equip this thing so I can do higher level stuff? But I have bow reserves and primary ammo finder, and it's like garbage. But I don't have any cores yet because I'm like leveling up
mhm,
and I haven't. And it's not obvious too. You see the cores, but you're like, where do I get them? I don't quite know. It's not the most
mhm,
obvious thing. But also like because enhancement cores are such a scarce resource generally, and they're
mhm.
becoming more apparent. I mean, you
Right,
can't do it, but it's not like I'm going to spend the time to go hell or high water into a full masterwork set of armor
right.
because I'm still leveling stuff up.
Mhm.
Guns are still coming, different roles are coming. So, like, if I'm really going to enhance, I can't do enhance and infuse just
Yeah,
at max level. And
exactly.
that grind takes long enough just to get to 650 now.
Facts.
I'm never going to touch that full armor and that little,
Yeah,
like,
it's
and it's like,
never.
little solar, little void, little damage boost is like hardly going to feel like I can't do it. Like, I don't have the way to do it.
Mhm. Yeah,
So, shout out
shout out
to,
to War Black Jack. He on
yeah.
fire on your chat right now. I want to get he talking some talk. So basically, we've been having this in the Ebon's chat, a good discussion in reference to the whole mod situation and the way it's structured right now. Because currently, the way it's structured right now is only through Black Armory can you get mod components. So he's asking, in addition to people who don't have Black Armory, grinding for the Black Armory weapons in the EDZ and Nessus through Saboteurs, they allow a chance for those weapons to drop the new mods. I mean, that's an option. I just want another source, and Banshee even himself should be part of this as well, right? There should be a source, whether with some type of economy exchange to get mod components. Like again, what's he's selling. Here's the other problem. The
He
problem
says
is
mods and doesn't sell the ways to get
the
it.
way to get them. Exactly. It's like, you're defeating the purpose. And then the other thing is the drop rates are so low
Mm-hmm.
that it's insane. Like I literally get more enhancement cores than I get mod components.
Oh, absolutely. Because I use those like sparingly now to like, hey, something's at like level
Mhm,
1. It's actually a really good range roll on this thing. Let me boost it a few, see how it's feeling, if I like it. So I'll blow through a few masterwork cores there, but I never touch mod components because I'm just like, I'm so stingy and I'm a hoarder, and you know that you give me a hard time. But seriously, you can't I'm afraid to use them or buy that many mods. I
mhm,
mean, if they were dropping at a reasonable rate as much as I play on this character, I should have a stash of probably everything.
Yeah.
And I buy them sporadically. Like if I see a super, I'll buy like one or two, and I have a decent amount of them. But like I should probably to a point, as much as I play now, where I'm rolling in them a bit more, and then somebody who's on a kind of mid-range, casual, newer player should have access to some, not a ton, but they should have access to start seeing some, so they feel comfortable enough to be like, hey, let me try this mod on this piece of armor so I can at least see how this feels.
Right. Yep.
So, I mean, that's just, there's, overall Banshee, War Blackjack. Overall Banshee needs a buff. Yes.
Yes.
So freaking Lutely. He can give you bounties for new mods. That would be amazing. It's perfect.
Yeah,
like,
I want
do some bounties. I mean, he used to have bounties. He used to have the Arms Day and stuff like that. Be like, hey, go get, I don't know, 500. Go get some kills. Go get even like a weekly ban. Go get like 500 heavy weapon kills in, PvE or like against enemies not in Crucible. And maybe it'll give you like 10 mod components. Like that's a grind. But I mean, 10's also like, that's going to get you a couple mod components. So it's like, and you're going to kill normal crap throughout the week. And with fun, and so like throw a few of those out there, maybe a daily and a weekly, so you can have some stuff to look at.
Literally treat it like the planetary vendor. The planetary vendor has 3 specific bounties that gives you those materials that you need for said planet. Have Banshee do the same thing. If they wanted to earn through gameplay, have us go out in the world, do Crucible strikes or whatever activities, and like you said, it'll give you like a +5 mod for finishing them, so that this way, it just sucks when he comes around and he has that mod you need. And it's like, man, I got 2 mods right now. I can literally do nothing. Like, there's no way to farm. I'm just screwed until RNG decides to bless me, or I do the exploit, which still takes forever, which is grabbing blues out of collections and breaking them down. That's not, I feel, the way I should be playing Destiny to earn mod components.
Yeah. War Blackjack. He's like, solution to Banshee, waiting for the response there. But yeah, all those pieces are things where, and this is the thing, and shout out to Paul Tassi, always getting some nice insights in there, literally usually putting in words better than I could put it in words, but all the stuff that we're generally thinking, as well as like mod components and we worry about casualization, but he said it's like, it's not the casualization per se, because like they've steered away, but it's the access to things and giving incentive to keep going.
Yes.
And it's a balance of, and I'm probably even saying like summing his article up wrong, but he was just saying it's like, it's not a worry of casualization. It's like, no, the game has a grind that's going to be there, but it's giving you incentive and access and options. And we have a lot of things to do, but it's kind of the point of why, like, this is kind of going to step on one of my likes and dislikes, but why the hell are strikes in there?
Yeah.
What purpose do they serve at all?
Yeah, these are good arguments. These are very, very, very good arguments.
I mean, strikes are... Go ahead. No, I'll shut up for a second.
No. Please continue. I want you to go forth with this one. Continue. You are fine. Go with it.
Strikes are so misused and underutilized. And also, for the love of God, please change the challenge of the week where you have to match up on that thing.
Oh, that light level? Oh, I hate that light element. You
have to match the light element of someone in your party. And some people are just dumb. They're working on bounties. They're just not paying attention to what the singe is. They're using just like void tether, like void singe on a solar burn, and then they're like punching everything on a grenadier week, and they're like, oh my, what are you doing? Like, they don't even know. It's not like it's blasted on the screen, or they just don't quite see it. It's not just saying, hey, you click on strikes, and before you do it, it's like solar singes this week, and this is like so, hey, you know, grenades are going to do more damage, and solar damage is going to be amplified, so you know, you might consider switching to that. It's subtle, and a lot of people just don't notice, and just people like, hey, I'm gonna do my 3 strikes and get my piece of powerful gear because I'm a solo player, and they don't have a clue what's going on.
And it's wondering why it's not completing.
That, or they're like 2 blueberries randomly be on the same thing, and they're both on void, and it's a solar singe week, and I look down and I see that I didn't do it. Now, I've said this in my weekly reset videos. Part of that Ernest is on us to be like, okay, when I get about 2/3 into the strike, I'm going to stop for a second. I'm going to look at what they're running.
Right.
And then I'm going to switch over. By the end of the strike, at least I'm going to match them. So, I mean,
Mhm.
there are ways to help with that, but it shouldn't have to be like, I literally have to check what someone else is running. Be like,
Mhm.
just match it for the week. Be like, okay, so, be like, hey, run 3 strikes as a solar, run 3
Yes.
strikes as an arc, and just tell you
Yes.
how to run it. And that's going to be your way to actually have everybody get that, that stuff done.
Mhm.
Shout out to
Mhm.
Scream. Thank you for joining us. A little late, but always good timing.
Scream.
But those are those ways. It's like that will give Kaibatsu, regular Vanguard sites. I don't care enough to change it. Nightfall is a different story. Yeah, but it's like if you don't change it and you don't match a random person, you aren't making progress on your powerful gear. So then you're literally shooting yourself in the foot too. So I mean,
Yeah.
they should just change the way that challenge is written because it's just not helping anybody.
Agreed. Agreed.
But I mean, also like my bigger thing. Sorry, huge strike rant right now. I
Go
apologize.
for it. Let's go. Let's get it.
Like, where do strikes fit in the gameplay? Like, because you'll go through doing missions and story, and I mean, you'll see them as a challenge to do, but I was like, where are they on your progression? They don't help you. They don't
Right.
give you a they're not a stepping stone in between anything for a new player. They're just this one challenge you have to do for powerful gear, and then when you're done, you're done.
That's it.
But if you're leveling up and the soft cap hasn't moved, especially, which that needs to, yeah, by the way, for leveling people up, that soft cap has got to go up.
Got to go up.
Like,
Got to.
I mean, make it 550. Who gives a crap if you get up to 550? Like, if you're new and you're trying to give people incentive to get to this new stuff, 550 is not going to break anything. But here is where you have to use something like strikes.
Yes.
Story missions, maybe story missions are like, hey, okay, go do a couple story missions because you grinded stuff out and you may not have experienced the old story missions and we have new players. Go do story missions that might get you legendaries that drop up to 560. So this is above the soft cap of blues. Then strikes could take you from 560 to 575 or 580.
Yeah.
And like however you balance that stuff, strikes need a purpose of leveling. Because you go story campaign, and then it's just, grind out your challenges. But what if I'm story campaign and I'm like 520? Well, what if I go grind strikes and every single strike, I'm not saying like a chance in 1 in 5 that something drops that's going to tell you. Every single strike is going to help you level up. You get to experience, and you're going to get your powerfuls. You're going to do stuff other places, but those are a thing, and multiple things need this kind of evaluation.
Which leads me to bring back up the D1 Classic Strike playlist where they had the scoring system, and then you kept running it. And after every 3 to 4 strikes, I believe, there would be a chance for reward. And then you can make that, you can depreciate that. If they're worried about people just cheesing it, you can depreciate it after every 3, right? So that, you're still getting something, but you're not always getting the top all the time. It's just they have to figure out something to do. And I agree, strikes is a great idea. Like, they really need to do something to incentivize it and the value, because like you said, once it comes around that week and you do it, those 3 strikes, and you do, the light level thing. I mean, light, same light, some
your director challenge or whatever.
Yeah, then you're done. You're not touching strikes no more. It's a wrap. So I agree.
If you grind it enough that you're a high enough level, that's probably all you're going to do. But I mean, if you're like when you've been leveling up, you get to a point where you're like, I just wish I had something I could grind where it would help me out, because I've done a lot of my powerful gear challenges, like the rank resets, whether it's Gambit or Valor. Those take some time. But if I just hey, I know if I win in strikes, it would at least help me move from 540 to 560, and I could make some progress in there. So I'm not feeling like I'm like, well, crap, I feel like I'm done for the week, and I can't, like most other games, RPGs and things like that. If there's, the week doesn't just stop.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're at the pinnacle of 650, you're like, you're up there. There's only so many things that are going to start giving you really making some changes. But there's if you are trying to get to that level, you shouldn't hit just that final wall of the week and you're like, well, I guess I'll go play another game until Tuesday. And that's where they start losing these people who are newer. They're like, okay, I made it through the story, the campaign's done. Okay, max is 650. Okay, I feel like I've done a lot of stuff and I'm like 525, but I don't have a lot of things that are blinking on my director to tell me there's other things to do.
Yep.
So it's it's one of those pieces, and it's like, yeah, just that smoothing of the transition, giving people who are under leveled reasons to keep going has
Mm-hmm.
got to be there, because as they keep doing this, the next one's 700. Excuse me, the next
Mm-hmm.
one is 700. Same thing's going to happen all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And soft cap cannot stay at 500. It just gets longer and longer.
No, I agree. I mean, you on
Sorry,
fire,
rant mostly over now. Sorry, I've been going for a while.
You're on fire. I love it. It's all truth, man. All truth. I'm complete agreement with that.
But yeah, so there's just a lot of things that need adjusted to this point, because they don't want to casualize it. And I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
D1 was exotic drops were really high. You got me. How do I feel?
Oh
I
yeah,
feel okay.
how you feel, you man?
Let me go ahead and take my headset off for a second so I can let my ear steam get out of there. So
the classic E-rant. We don't get a lot of those. That's good.
No, but it's just one of those pieces to where giving throwing the exotics at us, and like a lot of things from year one have changed into year two, and we've got some good progressions and feels and all those things that are like getting better to a point. But it's, if you want to be like, hey, this game's free, hey, I've got a collection, you're gonna sell the Destiny collection for cheap, or it's on sale for $20. Be like, hey, you can get up to 650. You can get the annual pass if you want, but yeah, you can reach max level. The grind's decent. I mean, if I go out there and made a video of like, hey, how to level up. Okay, so you go through, you do your full campaign for Forsaken, you do the Dreaming City, and then you do these challenges. But when you're done with the challenges, you got to wait till Tuesday. That is a horrible sentence to say. Like, that's going to be like, what?
Yeah.
So if you go through it, I mean, how did you feel when you probably didn't have, because I mean, you're not just a no-lifer gamer, but I mean, if you felt like you no-lifed it, where do you think when you were grinding that like first week, you got to the Dreaming City and then you were working on your challenges, where do you think you could have hit maybe no-lifing as, as a new PCer? How high do you think you get in that first week?
Yeah, I think without restriction, I could have got to like that first week, I could have got to like 580. You know what I'm saying? Like easy. You know what I'm saying? Again, if there's no restriction and we have those things in place, it's like we said.
I'm saying as it is now, without all this stuff.
My Lord, Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Where do you think you would get as of this current state before they do like the Prime Engrams and other powerfuls, and yet the soft cap is still where it is? Where do you think you would have got to in, say, 3 weeks ago Destiny without any of these changes? When you were grinding out Dreaming City, where do you think you're like, finished the campaign, got to Dreaming City? Okay, so I've got these, these are all the weeklies. You did everything. Where do you think you would have capped? Just curious.
Man, low. Like there's no doubt in my mind. I'm just trying to put a number on it, but 540, 550, like,
and that even feels almost high for a normal. So it's like, you do that and you're like, I did so much stuff, and I'm like, I am not there. But I was like, what if you no-lifed it and you were like, hey, I hit like 536 random number or whatever, and you're like, there is nothing else for me to do. I don't know where to go find stuff. I can't reach Black Armory, so those are a couple things I can't do. I'm not high enough for the raid. I'm not high enough for Shattered Throne. I've hit all my challenges, and I have this stopping point, and that's one of my biggest issues with getting to the end. That part, that stop is an issue.
I agree. It's a hard stop. I agree.
Yeah.
It's disruptive, and they need something to continue. And that's where, like you said, that strikes. I believe, I forgot which Destiny it was, but D1, there was an expansion that had used strikes correctly, and it was like that middle ground. You know what I'm saying? And you can still, utilize it and get rewards from it to help you towards that grind without that hard stop of, I got to wait to reset to all the planets light back up and then have new sources of, getting powerful gear.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one of those things that I think will hopefully get addressed in time, maybe be a D3 thing, but just that. And as this annual pass keeps going, to make that annual pass be more appealing, that ramp up needs to be faster and faster as that higher power cap gets farther and farther away from where you finish that D1 campaign. because where the D2 Forsaken campaign, when you finish that, you're roughly 500, and if you're seeing like 700 come this spring as being a place to reach to, and you're like, it's only coming from powerfuls and primes, and but I mean, primes will drop, but I mean, they're going to be more often in bigger boosts, but it's like they got to make that adjustment. But I mean, the soft cap in there, all those pieces, but I was like, if you're not using content, people are like, well, I mean, these strikes are here, but I hate playing them because I don't get anything for them. Give them a reason. That's all.
Yeah. Facts.
All right. Giant rant, mostly to the side now.
Okay. Long point.
Always. So I mean, we covered the raid. Kind of. I'm pretty sure I beat the hell out of the new player grind.
Yeah, we got that.
But it's good to hear from you as well on that one, because you're literally going through it right now, which is kind of nice to have that perspective, because you're like, I'm almost ready for Shattered Throne coming up this week, but it's like all those pieces. Like when you get to new, like Shattered Throne, I know it's like a thing. And I know there's probably a lore piece maybe where it will always be there, but there's got to be a point in expansions where Shattered Throne is kind of like always an option.
Yeah. Like it should be like how, like Whisper comes out or something, and, it should be selectable once. I don't know. They got to figure out a happy medium with that.
Yeah. I mean, or if you've beat it before, maybe you can at least go run it or something. Or just, something more frequent. I know the 3 week, but 3 weeks is a long time. And that's like one of the really awesome things in there. And then one other piece, please for the forges, let me select them from the director. You have matchmaking. I'm going to go into that screen when I walk up to it. Don't make me walk up to it in person. Let me just start it from the director, so I can just be like, hey, I'm on a planet. Let me queue up for the forge. Just go right in. So, all right, all that stuff out of the way. So we're going to go 3 things we like, 3 things we dislike. Do you want to go dislikes or likes first, or kind of do you want to do like 1 and 1 and switch?
Oh yeah, you can do that. We can do 1 on 1 and switch. So
going negative or positive first.
Let's keep it positive. We've been in a rant fest.
Yeah, I've been in the rant. I try and be constructive with the rant, but I definitely have I have a strong opinion for sure.
Listen, it's good rant. I'm teasing you. Let me see. So the first thing I would say, for me, favorite, I gotta say the new supers. You know what I'm saying? Like the new supers, that's on one of my lists. Definitely loved how they reimagine certain classes, and how powerful they feel. That definitely gives me incentives. I definitely feel I have more tools in the box, so to speak, for different situations. So that's one of mine. What about you?
So I mean, mine for just things about Destiny is literally just the way, and it's a basic piece of the game, but it's just the way gunplay feels. Guns have a distinct feel. They have a distinct sound. They have a distinct recoil pattern. Each gun has certain purposes. Exotics are really starting to feel exotics. They're crazy out of the box stuff. Just the actual full gunplay. It is Bungie. They nail that stuff. Absolutely nail the gunplay in the game, and this is no exception. So for me, it's one of those things when you look at other games that are coming. You've got things like Division. You've got things like Anthem. They're going to have different things, but that first-person gunplay is, I don't want to say second to none, but it is damn near the top of all video games.
That's what keeps us coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, you pick a bugger and you fire it, and I'm like, the first time I fired what was the Scathelocke in D2, that one had that kind of, it felt a little more, AKA military-ish, and it had that feel. But then you pick up an Amalon rifle, and this thing is totally different. The recoil feels a little different. You see the little energy bullet. You got like all of those pieces, and even grenade launchers are amazingly in a good spot right now. Like all of those, and you bring in something like bows, and it still feels pretty good. Like the aim assist is in a right spot, not too much, but it feel like you're not punished for not being perfect. Like, just the gunplay for me has always been an amazing thing that keeps me playing this game, because I just love how it feels. So that's one of mine, just hands down for all of D1
absolutely.
And D2. So,
absolutely.
All right. Yeah. So now give me a big change we need. Give me a dislike. What do we got?
All right. I'm gonna go with still not enough powerful rewards for Crucible only players. And my thing is, if I want to live in the Crucible, right? The week starts, and you have that play your 1 match, you get a powerful drop. Play the 5, you'll get a powerful drop. Once that's done, That's it. You know what I mean? Unless, during the week the reset happens and you get another day where Crucible pops back up, you know what I'm saying, before the reset. So it's just like, I feel it's still a disparity between PvE and PvP because there's tons of PvE sources, right? And again, this goes back to one of my old requests of, the true meaning of dawn, war bounty that Shax used to have. Because don't get me wrong, glory is cool, but I'm not you're going towards the pinnacle weapon. You're not really doing that to level, right? So that's where I mean, Iron Banner, yes, but Iron Banner also, it's not as frequent. It's it's a once a month thing. You catch it, no doubt. It's a great week kind of thing. So I just feel that they're probably like one, let's say, activity away, but I still feel Crucible as a whole needs to have another source of powerful make it difficult. I have no problem, ascendant challenging Crucible. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I've got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I've got no problem with making something very difficult, but if you accomplish it, hey, you know what I'm saying? And again, that's the kind of things that True Meaning of War did. It made you do certain things.
So what would that be to you? What would be your addition? Is this like a this means war bounty? Or do you get away from a bounty and go for how do you because I mean Destiny still is a looter shooter and it's definitely gonna have a PvE weight to it. So what is your how do you add something in? What's your so like you have that? I was like, but for me, I was like, and I'm gonna try and do this too and screw myself over. But what is your like I mean, you can have an opinion about something, but what's your solution? Solution.
Yeah, easy. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you bring True Meaning of War back, right? You get that going, and then obviously the elephant in the room, which needs to happen, I feel, by Joker's Wild, because we know Joker's Wild does not have a raid, right? Hello Trials.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back. Let's reimagine it, and again have those attachments to it. Have the powerful Engram attachment to it. Have that incentive. Bring the boons back. Bring those things. Those are the things I used to do because not only did it kind of give you, even though it was non-adept weapons, you still had the adept stuff and the light husk stuff that was unattainable for the hardcore, but you still had your dailies, you still had your 5 bound, and it was all about just activity. A lot of them just was like, if you really looked at how the trials bounties were, they were really just gained towards play a couple of these matches, win these couple of matches. It was about engagement. It's literally what it was about. So they have to either do that. If trials is not ready, that needs to happen in competitive. But if Trials is ready, they need to bring that and add that to that because that's the high-end Crucible content.
Yep. I mean, I can definitely agree with that for sure. And I'm not even a Crucible player, so
yeah. Says he who always leads the boards.
I really don't. I really don't. And that's kind of honestly one of those things I was thinking about too, because somebody on my channel has left a comment recently, and I've had people ask before. It's like, I'm not an amazing Crucible player. I hold, and it's a kill death assist ratio, so I mean it's definitely higher than 1, but it's not like 2 or 3 or 4. Okay. It's like 1.4 or 1.5, like somewhere in that. I'm probably about a 1.0 KD, but I don't feel like I'm just getting worked. I feel like sometimes I hold my own, sometimes I get worked. There's like I'm kind of walking the middle ground. I'm okay at Destiny. I know there's people that'll just mop the floor with me, but there's sometimes in games where I'm like, okay, I'm having a good game, like I'm in the zone, like, and they both happen. And just to do basic tips that, like, even for me, but somebody's like, I step into PvP and I just get worked. What are basic ways to help with that? It's like, okay, so shotguns are a popular thing. If you feel like you don't have a comfort doing that, you're not running around don't run around corners. Pay attention to your radar, or play more kind of range thing. Use a pulse rifle because they're in a pretty good spot right now. Little stuff like that. I was like, I'm honestly thinking about doing just like PvP basics. It'd be good if I could talk, so this will go out. PvP basics, but from an amateur. Like, and it's like I'm not going to claim to be an elitist. Like, you want to go watch like the Fallouts, the Camis, the Lucky lucky and butt wipes. Like those guys they're epic. They would kill me every time. Miss 5,000 watts would snipe me from across the map with one hand tied behind her back. But like in an average like skill-based ranking, and I'm okay. Like if I go against like newbies, yeah, I'll probably beat them. So it's like, are there things that I could say to help? Maybe. So I was like, when you say Crucible, but that's a piece of the game that some people just don't like because they don't have that space to get into it and just kind of feel like they're not just getting destroyed.
No, and I get that, but those people also have to understand like people need other sources. You know what I'm saying?
No. And that's why I was like, for you having that like high-end incentive is huge. Yeah. But it, like that would be a way to like those pieces, some type of like the skills, and that's why like getting the glory number actually attached to who you're matching up with, hopefully, as long as like matchmaking's decent, really starts to set those skill rankings apart, which gives these people incentive to try some of that stuff and not feel like, well, I'll never do trials. Like, okay, maybe you have like a week where you do get those 5. Those were perfect. Those bounties, because I went to the lighthouse once and I got totally backpacked there. Like, believe me, the guys I played with, I was on their team and watching in awe, much less the people on the other side that were like, okay, they just lost and they're not entirely sure what happened. Like, I was watching and just in awe at what these two were doing, and they just played together and they were like, I felt they were just cool people and helped me out. Nice. But man, like the way like the average group would do it, those bounties you're talking about, like hit the 4 or hit the 6 wins and you get your armor, you don't get the full adept version, but you get something. That's that piece that PvP is missing. And I think you just absolutely nailed it, because that's a piece of the game that people can like work on and try and improve. And there's that incentive out there with the bounties and the drops and other stuff that's actually worth getting. So
agreed. Completely agree.
All right. So what's the next one? No, we're back on a favorite, right?
Yeah, that was on favorite. I believe it's you. Right? Okay. I did Crucible, so it's you now.
Wait, did I do a dislike?
I thought you did.
I feel like we talked a lot. Well, we both kind of ran it on that battle. So, I
know I've done 1 and 1. I've done one favorite. One.
So I think I do need a dislike at this point. So
yes,
mine for me is going to be an adjustment that I want to see is, I want to see the game, and it's the rumors we hear, and it's where I want to see this game progress to. And honestly, it's like, I want to see some numbers in the game. And I know this is a vague statement. Okay, so if I get the new Rampage mod, what does that actually do? Does it lower it by 10%? Put a number on stuff.
Yes.
Like how long does my super take to charge? Currently, your super takes like 5 minutes to charge, as opposed to timing it. Okay, what does the super mod do? It lowers it by 10%. Well, 10%, 10%, 10%. That's like 28% that you'd get a difference on if you put 3 on. Then you can actually say, hey, my super's down to that. They had some of that stuff, like the literal time chunks that you would like get to in D1, and they took that stuff away. So those are things that are going to help. I mean, there are things when you're like, hey, what does this mod do? And some people have to go do like data testing and sit around for 5 minutes. Okay, how long does this take to charge? Okay, put one mod component on, reuse it, go sit in the hallway somewhere and be like, okay, how long does this take to charge? If you just put the mod component on, you'll be like, hey, that one goes. It's one of those things that it'd just be nice to see the numbers in game. Like when they say, hey, this is going to be, and you see people do all this data mining and testing and stuff like that. If I did a masterwork and said, hey, you do this, you're going to get another 5%. People don't always go read the Bungie blog to know that, that's how masterworking armor works, that you get, hey, everything is like 1%. Put more information in the game so people who don't watch YouTube videos, don't read the Bungie blog, can get the information they need from the game interface itself. Like the UI has space, or if you just mouse over things, then you need more tooltips. But also, like, I mean, when you talk about numbers, the basics of like a little bit of tutorial, like, okay, so you finished your first match of Gambit. That was kind of fun, right? Well, these are the main things you need to focus on. The ads are going to drop these. If you lost the first round, or say they spawned theirs first, you're going to have these heavyweight or the what are they, high value targets come out. These are going to drop more mods, so try and focus on them, or more moats, so you can get back up. When the primeval spawns, there's these things called envoys. When you kill both of those, it's going to help you get more damage towards the like. They don't explain any of that stuff, and they just expect people to figure it out. And this is not meant to be a Dark Souls game. And honestly, if you were like, if you want to click through it, cool. if somebody really has the time to learn or like wants to be like, hey, Gambit tutorial, and just throw some of that stuff in there, or just a couple, as they said, like pictures that point and show what you're doing. Some of those things would help a lot of newer players just to understand some basics at times, as opposed to, I mean, shout out to Follow Blaze when he's doing his Gambit Academy.
Yeah.
But I was like, those are good things, but it's like it's not in there because there's no specific place to see anything. Like, you know, when you kill both envoys, that's one of those things. When the primeval is out longer and longer, you know, every 30 seconds you get another modifier. So like timing these things will have just like little pieces, and they can be like a little PowerPoint presentation for the people in different activities. Be like, hey, would you like to see a quick tutorial about Gambit? Skip it or look at it. You get the option. You don't have to, but if you're new and you're like, hey, I've never done this before, what the hell's happening in this game? You get a feel. So my thing is just more numbers and more information in the game, so you have access to what's actually happening in front of your face.
Absolutely. They have to be more transparent. Shout out to Sinister. He's like, he wants intellect back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No doubt.
That's a stat. So all right. So that was my change that I want. So back to this will be favorite number 2 for you.
All right. Favorite number 2, catalysts. I am addicted to catalysts. When that thing drops, it's just a whole new mini game that opened up for me. And I just love them, man. I just love unlocking more potential out of exotics. You know, I remember when I finally had got the Huckleberry one. That was cool. You know what I'm saying? So, and mods for the most part, they've been okay. You know what I'm saying? They've been okay. I've been messing with Target Adjuster, you know, counter bonds. There's some mods, but there's some mods, you know, that I like. You know, my minor spec, my major spec, you know, boss spec on like a rocket launcher, my Zenobia, that kind of thing. I like that extra layer of functionality on top of existing weapons. So catalysts, we are definitely in there for me. Love when those drop. So that's a like for me. Which
nice. I mean, for me is just the fact that we actually have the rolls are back, and I think those are in a good spot with a giant asterisk on the side. I love random rolls on guns and things and having options and stuff to grind for and having like different builds. That's what I wanted forever with armor, is the fact that you can build like, hey, I'm going to run Thunderlord, Ikelos, and Pulse Rifle, and I'm going to go Pulse Rifle Loader, Machine Gun Reserves, I've got Shotgun Scavenger, I got some heavy ammo drop in, and then I've got Recuperation when I'm picking up orbs, and I got this build. Okay, cool. I'm going to survive. I'm going to go Thunderlord. On the whole other side, if I want to go like, you know, sniper, like no sniper flinch, sniper reserve, I want to go pure PvP build because I want to just snipe as best as possible. Okay, that's a thing too. Like those are there, but the giant caveat on this randomness is they need some more variety in the perks, and they need the perks to actually make sense with some of the guns that they're on. Do not ever put a hip fire grip on a sniper. Don't do oh my god, like
RNG, man.
So like you can have some more random rolls in there that give you options, but not stupid options.
Are you asking for smart RNG? Is that what you're asking for?
I'm just asking for ones that, like, if I'm gonna have like, do I need range on a sniper rifle? Nope. That shouldn't be an option.
I agree. There's some that they shouldn't even be in the category.
But there also should be a little more, like, I mean, they have quite a few perks, and I know it's like introducing perks is a thing, but it's like on sniper, maybe it's like, hey, maybe there's a perk for less flinch. How do we not have a perk for less flinch on a sniper rifle?
Yeah.
Like on the gun itself, not on your armor, but on the gun itself. Like maybe you get a roll with snapshot sights and low flinch. I'm like, you want to talk about something for Crucible? There you go. Like that's just one. So I love the rolls and the perks and the mods, and that's more of what we lost and wanted back. But they just need to adjust where certain things can roll and just kind of give more incentive to other things. So
no,
mine is a favorite with a
favorite with asterisk. No. What else we got? So I'm up on
dislike for you.
I kind of wait, no, I didn't touch about this. Exotic armor tuning. Remember in D1, we had this cool little consumable. It's called glass needles. Remember that?
Re-rolling exotics.
Yeah, let's re-roll some of these bad boys, number one. And then number two, one of the cool things they did with D2, which was, hey, we're going to grab a bunch of these underused exotics. Sunshot, you know, Graviton Lance was damn near reborn. Remember? You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah, like that was a crazy swing.
crazy swing. They attempted a little bit with some armor, but there's still really not been any follow through since. So we need to get back to that. Let's get dust off a lot of armor right now that is sitting there with either bad functionality, things that need to be reworked and changed, you know what I'm saying, to make it more appealing. There's tons of warlock stuff I can talk about that I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, I'm never gonna use that. It really has no practical functionality, or it's not doing enough. So yeah, man, let's get that. Let's shout out to Sinister. Let's make grass needles great again. Yeah, man, I'm with it, man. I'm with it because I want that customability, that customization, and I also want exotic armor. Now that they've got the rolls, I want the exotics to really feel buffed up. There's stuff that I mean I'm thinking right now, like at least two. There's a chest for the Vesper of Radiance, there's the Starfire Protocol, there's stuff that's just sitting in the vault. Like there's no reason for me to really take this until something happens. But that's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I kind of was on it before, but it's honestly just your progression of activities through the game for me
Yeah.
that needs. And I was all over this before with strikes and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's just that overall progression for me of through the game, through leveling up, incentive for old things, and just trying to find ways to use the content that they've got in a proper way that gives people incentive to stay around, to feel like they're making. Because the worst thing is like not seeing progress. And there's points in time where everybody hits that wall. Like if you clear out your director and you got no challenges to do with, you feel like you are done. And it's just that wall, and it's just some of those walls that they have in there, and the arbitrary piece of making that grind smooth. But then on the other side for me is these, and we didn't quite touch on this on the raid, so this is kind of an offshoot, but I did want to say it. It's like when a new expansion comes out, they got to draw a line in the sand and say,
what sense?
The only things that are going to carry forward, whether they're done or not, are your pinnacle quest type activities, and that's it. You don't get to carry forward saved bounties. You don't get to carry forward raid keys. You don't get to carry anything forward. So when you start and you finish that grind and you're like, hey, I'm like 617 at the end of this week and I grinded the hell of it and that grade is 640. There, for one, that will make them have to figure out where their raids are actually going to fall. For one, what the timings of those are going to be. Maybe it is 10 days later, so people don't know life the thing for 3 days. But they got to actually start doing get rid of, as you said, find a way to like clear stuff out and make these next expansions and these releases be fresh starts, because you just like the hardcore grinds it out, and they're still going to grind it out, but it's just like people were 650 in 3 days, and I'm like,
that's ridiculous.
How in the hell is that
ridiculous?
And I was wondering, I was like, okay, so you could technically on 3 characters save 7 bounties from Iron Banner because they were all powerful gear. Check. Okay. You could save 6 bounties from Ascendant challenges. Okay, that'd be powerful gear on each. I mean, you could save a buttload of stuff, but then when I heard about raid keys from the new raid, the fact that they have like, they could go in and save that, and they could open like 6 chests or something insane, and they could have saved those up for like weeks of grinding the crap out of the raid. All like those, like that other end of the progression needs like to balance as well. So when that new expansion comes out, everybody's kind of on a fresh page, not the no-lifing streamers who saved up 14,000 of everything get that fix again. So it's like they kind of did that when Forsaken came out, because it was like completely revamped in so many ways. But Forsaken gave them other options with all these like bounties and stuff that you could save, that you just click on them and you get powerful gear. So just to see the progression kind of get smoothed out, and then the releases be handled in like kind of draw the line in the sand, and now everybody progresses forward equally type way. So that's my dislike of just the overall progression. So
yeah, no, I agree. And I think the last that was that. I think for me, as far as favorite,
so you're going, yep, like final favorite.
Yeah, final favorite. I do like the idea of Prime Engrams. I do feel that was, when they introduced it, another way to kind of to boost you up, that falls outside of just that limited scope of what the weekly, kind of activities lead. So, it's another drop, and hopefully now with this extra scale come Tuesday with the new patch, will actually have more benefit, to guys that are, still trying to level to get to the current DLC. So I thought the idea was cool. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I've been playing. You play Crucible, you see one drop, like, oh, okay, all right, got one. So I like that idea of constantly still have the chance of leveling outside of just the regular standard, the static powerful gear drops.
Yeah. Mine is gonna be Gambit.
Nice.
Now, Gambit, when you have that match that feels good, if you get worked, if you get solo queued against a team, we all know that doesn't feel good. But Gambit in its like optimal setting, so either random teams or team versus team who are working together, you're talking, or you're with randoms and everybody's kind of like a little off and lost. Those ones where you have that tug of war with like the Primeval getting healed on this side and healed on this side, and you take a second, you gather yourself, and you try and go again. You get invaded, somebody, and like you have that tug of war. That is when that game mode feels amazing, and that's literally what happened when they did the Gambit stream. They didn't have all the exotics. They didn't have the Ikelos. They just had kind of a regular loadout.
Yes,
and watching that, like between the two of those teams. They weren't melting the boss in 3 seconds with Chaos Reach and Icolo shotguns and all of those things. When it was just in that normal state, that game mode is so cool. If they can work on, whether it's the Primeval mechanics where you have the boss phases or things like that. But when it's right, that game mode feels amazing.
Oh, absolutely. It's fun. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. I have to give you that. It is tension, the invasions. It's a cool. I knew the minute. Remember, I played it first at E3 and I said, "Yo, they got something. They got something. It's unique and it's really enjoyable." So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, so that's definitely one for me that I just like. It's kind of like that, and then also. I have to add another one because it's the things I didn't expect with Forsaken to enjoy the most. We knew raids, we knew story, we knew strikes, we knew guns are going to be fun. It was Gambit and it was Shattered Throne.
That's your baby right there.
Shattered Throne is mine. I will preach about that thing because as a PvE player, they've never put anything of that in-game activity in that has a triumph or a challenge or anything for a specifically solo player.
Yes,
they built it to be a pain in the butt, but it is doable because I actually did finish it finally.
Nice.
Just as that's that end game PvE. I'm by myself, and if I can do this, holy hell, that was an amazing moment. Like so, Shadow, and just the fact that like you get a 3-person like basically full raid. So good.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like both of those unexpected pieces of like I didn't know until I played them that I was just blown away. So I mean, those are my favorites. The unexpecteds of Forsaken were my huge winner.
Yeah.
All right. So final change, final diss.
Yeah, I think I already went over it, which is the voice narrative stuff. I just like I said, that was a little sore spot for me for Black Armory, just kind of Sunday driving in the back seat looking at what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? So they got
also like your Guardian talking to. I gotta chime in and add that too. Is that like it's like just the fact that like there's no, you don't have that. I mean, the ghost is kind of there. They're quiet most of the time, and you're listening to other, but you don't feel like you're in it. You just feel like you, as you said, you're that passenger, and it's just.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can keep going. I just had to say that about the Guardian too.
Why I'm bringing it up, and like I said, can't go into too much detail, but there is a highly anticipated game that is coming next year that will be releasing, that will be in competition to Destiny, and they are not having that problem based on what I have seen and allegedly played early. So I'm just telling my Destiny fam, they got to get it together. You know what I'm saying? They got to get it together. Yo, shout out to Dizzy. The ghost can stay quiet. Nolan North doesn't need what chops he's stealing on the Listen, he did a damn good K though. Got to give him that. But just real talk. Like they have to clean narrative and lore up, because the competition is coming. And I'm very curious about how Destiny is going to react when that competition comes. So that is why I will continue to stress lore, narrative lore, whether it be just if it's cinematics, great. If it's not, narrative, voice. Do the Last Wish raid is an example that proves to me they are capable of doing it correctly. Please keep the standard. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I mean, I can't agree with that any more than you already did, but I was like, yeah, the voice part has been one of those subtle things that when everybody freaks out that our guardian had 8 words, we lost our mind. Like, that is a problem.
Yes.
I mean, just I know it's not an easy thing to put in. I know there's other pieces, but it's just the fact that with like our guardian, whoever it was talking to Caden and saying, no, don't like you can have emotion behind some of those voice actors. I mean,
Yeah.
Eris Morn, she's like, have you ever heard her own podcast? She always sounds really cool. But
Mhm.
like when she gets into that voice, like her emotions, her tone, the things you're saying, when she's like, no, I'm not gonna lose another one. Like she gets it, like the way you feel when certain things are said,
Mhm.
like that's a voice actor making you like take a like
Mhm.
step and feel something. And everything in Destiny for our Guardian tends to feel so empty.
Yep. And
You're just
like
a
I
shell
said,
of literally a shell, but a ghost shell. But I mean, you literally are this empty shell of like,
mhm.
I'm here, I'm looking at you, but I'm a mute. I got
Yep.
nothing. Like
I got
it's
nothing. And like I said, the, the competition, quote unquote, is coming. And they are addressing things like this. I mean, big time, man. Big time. Man, I cannot wait until I am free from NDA. That's all I got to say. Woo, woo.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So final dislike for me.
Mhm.
Oh, we've covered so much actually, good, bad, and otherwise.
Mhm.
Uh this is actually tough just because we've actually discussed so much. I'm trying to think of something
Yeah.
kind of
Mhm.
separate and unique, and I've been thinking about kind of so many different things.
Mhm.
Oh, besides somebody just flooring a Mustang in your background. um, can I not fight against ammo?
Mm. Heavy?
All.
Really?
But I mean, heavy's a big one because it's such an important thing.
Mhm.
Um, just sometimes the ammo struggles are like a thing. Why on earth they ever took away heavy bricks dropping from orange? The inconsistency sometimes of when
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's shotgun and it's like I'll see like 6 ammo bricks on the ground, I'll like specials on
Mhm.
the ground that I'll run around and like and then I can't get one special ammo brick to save my life for like the next round of
Mhm.
the forge or something like that. Just the fit
Inconsistency.
the invisible juggler, the inconsistency. It's like I mean, if you're running around and killing guys, I mean, I don't need to swim in it, but just look at me and see like, hey, a drop, make it a little bit of a run, but always have like the option for me out there. That's
Yeah.
gonna be a thing. So the ammo it's like it's just like little nitpicks like that. Just like ammo sometimes, the useless perks on things,
Mhm.
just things when they're like, hey, we're gonna give you all these options and so much is out to random. It's like, don't
Mhm.
have the world be up in the air when you don't even know what's going to happen because sometimes they've got to be playing and be like, oh my God, this was just dumb. Like, they have those facepalm moments. It's like, why did we do this?
Yep.
Why is this a
Yeah.
thing? So,
Yeah, it's just inconsistent. Sometimes you sit there, you're swimming, and other times it's such a drought, and you're like, why? I agree.
yeah. And it's just all that, just the little stuff. I mean, we've probably said a ton, so I don't need to like pick a full major topic to go over again because I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of things this game does right.
Right.
And the story, Forsaken, the raid, and all of those pieces,
Mhm.
it goes that like so much is great, but it's just like the things that they need to tweak. And you said competition is coming like literally February and March. There's 2 games that are coming out that are going to be people are going to step away to see how they feel. And if people are like, hey, I stepped in, I tried it, and I couldn't get that far. We don't have that much coming with, Joker's Wild. Like all those things are happening around a time. It's going to be an interesting time again. I mean,
Mhm.
Forsaken's in a great spot, but this is again going to be another test for Destiny because they want this life in the game. But unfortunately for me, it's kind of the point of sometime it may be time to step away for a breather. Even for somebody like us, I'll still play some, but it's like I'm gonna want to try other stuff too. And they just have to have enough of a awesome swing coming back, whether it's Penumbra or the fall, to know they've done enough things again well that they can be like, hey, by the way, Destiny is still here and we're going to kick some butt again. Like, they got to make sure and have that in the pipeline.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they are going to have a struggle uphill.
And I definitely think Trials needs to be ready.
Trials is a big one to keep some people incentive to be like, hey, I go through and I play. I mean, that's like some games. It's like, I mean, Anthem's mentioned out there. It's just one, but it doesn't have that PvP piece. And if people want that, that is another piece for them. That's like, it's an important factor of maybe they go do the Anthem campaign and they level up, but they get to the end and I want to shoot some other people. And that's a way for them to try and come back. So it's like the options of other games and what they're learning continues to be a thing that Destiny has to evolve. And they're trying and they're getting quicker, but they just can't fall behind at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree. And it's going to be interesting, man. But like I said, they got opportunities to do some things, man. They got some opportunities to do some things. I'm very curious to see how they react, especially first half of 2019.
Yeah. So, I mean, they have a calendar and just sometimes a little bit of communication, and they really tried to lay it out there. But just, like the first step of Black Armory was like totally like they stepped off and they rolled down the hill a little bit. Now they got to pick themselves back up again. And I wish, for me, my final wish is that whatever, like Forsaken feels like it got its full development time. And it's like, whatever, if there's a D3 or if there's a Destiny 2, fill in the word, if there is a full thing again, it's gotta I want a full game if whenever 3 happens, if it does, or something to that level of like a complete rework, that they don't, for one, rework it again, because Destiny 1, like, you had to make it in a year because there was the whole story rewrite. Destiny 2, again, it was like you heard 16 months. And just don't do it for Destiny 3 and I'll be happy. Because if you just keep learning, you're good. Don't forget what you've learned. Just stop forgetting what you learned.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking. I'm glad you said that, because I'm worried with them that when they have their mountaintop moments like a Forsaken, and I'm not saying Black Armory is a failure, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they always seem to, we just can't get 2 great DLCs in a row. Like, the last time I think it happened was like Rise of Iron and Taken King, right? But even then, it was like such a long time between the two.
Yeah, it was a year between those two.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Besides that, like, one strike and kind of
like, they just need to. Can we have 2 great things without any controversy between? And you know, it's almost like they forget, like you said, what they learned, and you're like, why? Like, again, and like I said, 2019, you cannot afford. And I will stress this to the cows come home. You cannot afford to have any type of missteps, because your player base will not be loyal. They have already shown that when they're pissed off, they will leave. That's the start of D2. And with competition, woo, it ain't gonna be much easier. So this is the time to tighten up, do what the community wants, and for the most part within reason, you know. And do the right thing, because the foundation is there. I mean, it still has the best gunplay in any game. You know what I'm saying? It's still one of the best cooperative experience I feel ever. I feel raids are the greatest things in gaming. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, they've got the foundation. Just expand. Just do the right things. Don't go off the beaten path too much, and give the people what they want.
Yep. So
that's all I got.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that was, we went long, of course, 2.5 hours. You guys sticking with us for so long. Appreciate you guys are awesome. And also, of course, a little crazy like us, but that's the passion for Destiny. And that's one of those things that it has going for it, is the community is there if you treat them well. So absolutely. They just keep learning. Don't hit your head and have amnesia and try and do something different. Be like, all right, we're going down this path. Poof. Okay, I'm gonna go down this fork over here. Wait, what happened to all that stuff? We're gonna completely they can't have a D2 year 1 again. They can't do that again. Otherwise,
Yagami 2004, he said the same thing. Yep. In your chat, he said they can't afford to have a vanilla D2 moment. If they have that in 2019, it's over. I agree.
Yep. So I think that's where we're probably going to wrap it up, guys. We're trying to come up with some stuff to talk about, and of course, goes long because you know we got words and opinions and things like that. Yeah, you guys have been awesome this morning. Chat's been definitely bumping, so thank you guys very much. You want to start wrapping this thing up?
Yeah, man. You already know where you can find me at Lord Cognito on Twitter, man. This Sunday, Iron Lords podcast. This will be the last Sunday Iron Lord podcast of 2018. We will regroup in 2019, January 6th. But this week, we got a little special guest. He's a good content creator, my man, the PlayStation Bruh. This guy is hilarious, man. Fantastic content. Great ambassador for gaming. So we will have him in the realm. And of course, we'll be talking about all the latest and greatest topics in gaming, all the latest rumors with the PS5 and the Xbox 2. What's Nintendo got up their sleeves? We got some great topics. Please check us out. It is Sunday on the Iron Lord Podcast channel, and that will be at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come check us out. And if you don't check it live, then catch us during the week, man. Go to the channel. Check us out. We have great content there, as well as Combat Talk with the King. We also have our stream team. We do a lot of first looks and impressions of new and up and coming games. Check that out. And of course, the best two-man podcast, Destiny podcast out there, Flashpoint, soon to be at Guardian Con. So if you guys are at Guardian Con, please say what's up to us, reach out, meet and greet, do what you got to do. We are looking forward to actually meeting a lot of you in the flesh if you guys happen to go next year. So that's all I got.
Yeah, same here. You guys, if you're watching this live, obviously you know where to find me on Twitch, on Twitter. It's Ebontis on both. Just kind of been a weird time for videos on the channel, so I know you guys have been following. But it's just like trying to figure out spending the time grinding on stuff, which I may just, stream and just hang out with you guys. If I'm like, I'm going to grind through this whole quest line and record it all and hang out with you guys. But then on the other side, it's like, trying to get like solos and things. It's like, where do I spend my time right now? And some of it's more just trying to get me grinding multiple characters and helping people with certain things and trying to get my friends to play a little bit. So it's been a little all over the place, but as always, thank you guys. Less than 2,000 away from 30,000 subs. Maybe we can make that by the end of the year. I'd love to hit 30 by the end of the year. That'd be crazy. So
let's go.
Yeah, you guys have all been awesome in chat. You got Vagabond, Dramatic, Yagami, all you guys. Jake, if I don't say your name, I am sorry. War Blackjack, all you guys.
War Black is out today. Yeah, he's there.
So yeah, a bunch of people talking in chat. Thank you guys. It's been awesome. So if you guys ever want to hit me up, I'm going to put my Battle.net in chat. It is mostly where I play. I'm unfortunately not much on console anymore, but it is Ebontis, EBONTIS, number 1305 on Battle.net. Hit me up. Send me a message, and some people even just like add me as a friend. I don't know who they are, but I'd have to pare my friends list down because apparently you can only have 200 on Battle.net, which is weird.
Oh yeah, I was like, there's lines too. Lord Cognito 1213. Lord Cognito, one word, 1213.
Yeah, so hit us up. But yeah, you guys have been awesome lately. The support's been great. Gonna see, like, I kind of went back to the site looking for the way to get the audio up for you guys as well. So that's a work in progress. We're working on kind of a logo for the actual audio thing too, so that'll hopefully kind of coincide together. So still getting things going. We're not going anywhere. This is 43. I know we started in about January. We had a few weeks off in between, but we're coming up on a full years of podcasting. You guys have been with us through all this, so it's been pretty cool. So thank you guys for the support, the kind words, the chat, the awesomeness. You guys are all amazing, and thank you every day for just hanging out and playing Destiny and having the passion that we do and dealing with our ridiculousness.
Long point.
Yep. So you guys are awesome. We will see you soon. And on my end, have a good one and enjoy your weekend.
Likewise. Peace.
See ya. All right. I'm off.